Chapter 338. In the following days, no one from the Medicine Emperor courtyard left their rooms. The medicinal pill market was completely dominated by the Pill Emperor Hall. Not only for the healing pill market, the recovery pill market was also under the Pill Emperor Hall's control. Hence, in the first round of the competition, the Pill Emperor Hall won with an absolute advantage. In the blink of an eye, a month passed. Everyone was excited because the second round of the competition was about to begin. This time, it was a competition between the younger generation of the various alchemy powers. Young disciples represented the potential of the future. No one would look down on this point. Hence, the participating alchemy powers placed great importance on the second round. Pill Emperor Hall. Many alchemy grandmasters were gathered together. In front of them there were several young disciples. These were the disciples who were going to participate in the second round. Among them there were Lin Xian and Wuxia. Other than Lin Xian, there were also several second-grade alchemists. In Xia country, this level of strength could be considered a peak existence among the younger generation. However, there were even more terrifying existences here. It's said that someone from the Medicine Emperor courtyard broke through to the third-grade alchemist realm. Furthermore, he has the help of a spirit-grade pill furnace. You all have to give it your all. Yes. The disciples replied, their faces filled with excitement. After which, DK looked at Lin Xian. Little friend Lin, the Sky Hill country likes to use pill furnaces to concoct pills. This can increase the efficiency. I've prepared one for you. Do you need it? Oh, there's no need. Lin Xian smiled. I've already resolved these matters a few days ago, so I've already prepared one. After speaking, Lin Xian smiled and touched his storage ring. He did indeed have a pill furnace and it was self-made. The inscriptions inside were all carved under the guidance of the Wine Lord. Lin Xian believed that this pill furnace wouldn't lose to the Scarlet Dawn spiritual stove. Alright, let's go to the Wind Moon Plaza. The second round was still held at the Wind Moon Plaza. That place could accommodate tens of thousands of people. It was definitely the best location for the competition. Today's Wind Moon Plaza was somewhat different. There were many stone platforms standing tall like stone pillars. There were martial artists all around waiting for the competition to begin. As Lin Xian and the others walked on the streets, they could feel that the air was filled with a different aura. The entire city seemed to be boiling. Some of the younger disciples beside him had fiery eyes as they clenched their fists tightly. It was no wonder. The Pill King competition was the highest level competition in the field of alchemy in the Heavenly Mountain Empire. To be able to display one's skills in such a competition and have tens of thousands of people cheer for one, just thinking about it made one excited. In the past, many young people had become famous in the Tianshan Kingdom after fighting in this arena. Compared to those disciples, Lin Xian was much calmer. This was not his first time participating in such a competition, and his goal was not to become famous throughout the country. Winning the White Dragon Ascension Pill was his ultimate goal. Along the way, many people looked at them with envious gazes, and there were even many young and beautiful girls throwing flirtatious glances at them by the roadside. This also showed how popular alchemists were. Lin Xian and the others entered the Wind Moon Plaza through the special passage. Instantly, countless martial artists cheered, their voices shaking the heavens. In the first round, the Pill Emperor Hall's performance was too shocking. Not only did they obtain first place, they even dominated the Medicine Emperor Hall. Hearing the cheers, the younger disciples waved their hands excitedly. Wu Xiaoyu even raised his chin proudly. Looking at you, you don't look like a young man. Beside him, Old Man DK looked at the calm Lin Xian and laughed in a low voice. Don't make fun of me, I'm only calm on the surface. Lin Xian modestly replied. The people from the Medicine Emperor Hall are here. He gazed into the distance. Not only him but everyone also looked at the entrance. Last month, the Medicine Emperor Hall suffered a crushing defeat. Later on, there was even a scandal of their furnace exploding. These things became the butt of everyone's jokes. But even so, when the Medicine Emperor Hall appeared, everyone was still shocked. A group of people wearing green robes, exuding powerful auras, entered the Wind Moon Plaza like a green flood. The one at the front was Song Yunxing, and beside him was the black-robed elder Blackheart. Behind them were the elders and the younger disciples. Among the younger disciples there were two who stood out the most. One of them was the daughter of Vice Principal Song Chanqian. She wore a green robe, which accentuated her exquisite figure. A confident smile hung on her delicate face. She was like a proud princess, surrounded by a myriad of stars as she entered the plaza. The other person was a short-haired young man. He had a muscular body, and his face was as sharp as a knife. His cold gaze contained a trace of arrogance. This person stood out from the crowd, but his powerful aura made people have no choice but to pay attention to him. When Lin Xian saw the short-haired young man, he narrowed his eyes. Relying on his powerful soul force, he could sense the strength of the short-haired young man. What a powerful soul force. Is this a third-grade alchemist from the Medicine Emperor Hall? Lin Xian felt a trace of anticipation in his heart. In the crowd, the short-haired young man seemed to have sensed Lin Xian's gaze and abruptly turned his head. His hawk-like gaze was incomparably sharp, piercing through the void. His gaze was like lightning as he looked at Lin Xian. Ah, what a sharp perception. Lin Xian was astonished, and his evaluation of the short-haired young man rose by a few notches. Sensing Lin Xian's cultivation and soul force, the short-haired young man coldly snorted and retracted his gaze. In his opinion, Lin Xian was too weak, and wasn't worthy to be his opponent. Not only Lin Xian but the short-haired young man Duan Fei also felt that among the younger generation present, no one was worthy to be his opponent. With great confidence he slowly walked into the plaza. After the Medicine Sovereign Courtyard entered the venue, the other pill concoction powers also entered the venue one after another. Lin Xian estimated that there were over 500 young disciples participating in the competition. No wonder these people are so excited. 500 people refining together, this scene is indeed spectacular. Lin Xian thought. After the participants arrived, a few more people entered the plaza. These people wore silver robes with golden patterns embroidered on their chests. Their bodies emitted a powerful soul force. Inscription Union. Lin Xian was no stranger to this name. Not only Lin Xian but everyone else was also familiar with the Inscription Union. Especially those alchemy factions, all of them respectfully greeted the Inscription Union. Even the Pill Emperor Hall was no exception. In the end, the Pill King tournament was organized by the Inscription Union. Lin Xian didn't pay attention to the others. His gaze landed on an old man. That old man was very ordinary, like an ordinary old man. If he took off his silver robes, no one would pay attention to him. However, Lin Xian was abnormally surprised. Because on the old man's chest, there were 5 golden patterns forming the shape of a pill furnace. 5th grade inscription master. Lin Xian was surprised. This was the first time he saw a 5th grade inscription master. One had to know that even Old Man DK and Song Yunxing were only 4th grade inscription masters. Chapter 339. Even Old Man DK and Song Yunxing were filled with reverence when they looked at the old man. Elder Blackheart, who was beside Song Yunxing, stared at the 5th grade alchemist with flickering eyes. No one knew what he was thinking. Little friend Lin, that person is the president of the Inscription Union of the Heavenly Mountain Empire. He is the top alchemist in the Heavenly Mountain Empire and the only 5th grade alchemist. Old Man DK's voice was filled with envy. One could tell that he had a strong desire to become a 5th grade alchemist. The seats of the Pill Emperor Hall and the Medicine Emperor Hall were close to each other. The smell of gunpowder in the air was thick. Little girl Song, I heard that you guys have been in closed-door seclusion for half a month. Your strength must have increased by a lot, right? Wu Xiaoyu coldly laughed. I hope your furnaces won't explode when the time comes. If not, it would be so embarrassing in front of so many people. Song Qianshan was so angry that her chest was heaving up and down. Wu Xiaoyu stared at her with wide eyes. Don't be too complacent. You guys will definitely lose for the second round. Song Qianshan gritted her teeth. She directly ignored Wu Xiaoyu. Her beautiful eyes were filled with killing intent as she stared fixedly at Lin Xian. I'm glad that I didn't kill you back then. If not, there wouldn't be so many problems. However, I'll let you know how powerful I am today. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. I'll accompany you anytime. Humph, so you guys are the participating disciples of the Pill Emperor Hall. How pitifully weak. A voice filled with disdain drifted over, completely not placing Lin Xian and the rest in his eyes. What did you say? Say it again. The disciples of the Pill Emperor Hall were enraged. They were all heaven's chosen, how could they tolerate being looked down on? However, when they saw the person who spoke, they all lost their imposing manner. Because the person who spoke was none other than the short-haired young man. He was also the only 3rd grade alchemist in the younger generation. Facing such a character, the disciples of the Pill Emperor Hall felt a sense of inferiority. It wasn't that they didn't have talent, but rather the other party was too monstrous. The short-haired young man Duan Fei looked down on the crowd. You're Lin Xian? A 2nd grade alchemist, your strength is only SOSO. How disappointing. Strength isn't something that can be judged through observation but through competition. The corners of Lin Xian's lips curled up slightly. Is a third-grade alchemy inscription master that amazing? In my opinion, you're just SOSO. You dare to speak to me like that? Duan Fei's tone was stern and carried a hint of killing intent. You're really courting death. Song Qianqian sneered. You actually said that a third-grade alchemy inscription master is useless? Don't you know the rules? As long as senior brother Duan takes out his grade 3 medicinal pill, you'll lose for sure. Junior sister Song, let's go. When the time comes, we can just enjoy their tears of defeat. The group of people left arrogantly. Those from the Medicine Emperor Hall felt extremely sullen in their hearts after losing the first round. This time around, they had to bring out their full strength and trample the Pill Emperor Hall beneath their feet. Seeing the disciples of the Pill Emperor Hall and Medicine Emperor Hall throwing out such harsh words, the spectators in the surroundings all cheered in unison. They were just here to watch the show and didn't mind if things got out of hand. Clang, clang, clang. Just as the crowd was engaged in a heated discussion, the crisp sound of a bell rang, reverberating throughout the Wind Moon Plaza. Instantly, the lively crowd quieted down. Countless gazes landed on the high platform in front of them, where an old figure stood. In the name of the President of the Inscription Union, I hereby announce that the 13th Pill King Tournament will now begin. President Meng Chuan announced in a clear voice. His voice was like the waves of the sea, spreading in all directions. The crowd below erupted into earth-shattering cheers, scattering the clouds in the sky. President Meng Chuan's voice reverberated, "Participants, please return to your seats." As his voice faded, hundreds of figures soared into the air, flying towards the black stone platform. Song Qianqian was clad in a green robe. Spiritual energy surged beneath her feet, forming a cloud that carried her towards the stone platform. So beautiful, she's simply a goddess descending to the mortal world. She's so young, but she's actually a harmonious spirit realm cultivator. The Medicine Emperor Hall is really something. The surrounding cultivators exclaimed in admiration. The short-haired youth, Duan Fei, also flew with his hands behind his back. His movements were elegant and unrestrained, causing many female cultivators below to scream. What are you pretending for? This young master knows how to do it too. Wu Xiaoyu's face was filled with arrogance. He turned his head to look at Lin Xian and said disdainfully, "You better think of a better posture, don't throw the face of the Pill Emperor Hall." As soon as he finished speaking, he shot through the air like an arrow. These people were actually all harmonious spirit realm cultivators. Although Wu Xiaoyu's cultivation was somewhat exaggerated, he was still able to fly. The others didn't have such elegant movements. They weren't harmonious spirit realm cultivators, so they could only use their exquisite movement techniques to get on the platform. After these people went up, the surrounding cultivators all looked at Lin Xian. They wouldn't forget that Lin Xian had defeated the Medicine Emperor Hall with his new pills in the exhibition. He's actually not a harmonious spirit realm cultivator? How is he going to get up there? I don't know, he definitely can't fly up there. He should use his movement technique, but if he does, he'll be much weaker than Song Qianqian and the others. Lin Xian rubbed his nose. This was an alchemy competition, they should be competing on the quality of the pills. Why did they have to show off their movement technique? Could it be that having a good movement technique would give them extra points? Lin Xian didn't understand, but since they wanted to show off, he would show them. On the stone platform, Duan Fei, Song Qianqian, and the others looked down at Lin Xian as if they were watching a show. On the platform, the alchemy masters were also waiting for Lin Xian to get on the stage. Song Yunxing and the others sneered. They couldn't wait for Lin Xian to fail. Under the crowd's anticipation, Lin Xian took a step forward. He walked up step by step as if he was climbing a staircase. What the hell? Does he really think he's a harmonious spirit realm cultivator? He'll fall to his death if this continues. Duan Fei looked down and sneered. He's really an idiot. But then, his pupils shrunk and an expression of disbelief appeared on his face. Not only him, the surrounding cultivators all opened their mouths wide as if they had seen something horrifying. In the air, Lin Xian walked up step by step. His feet stepped on the air, and the shadow of a silver dragon emerged. Stepping on the air? Impossible. He's not a harmonious spirit realm cultivator, how did he do it? Is he hiding his strength? The crowd guessed, but they didn't sense any spirit energy fluctuation. While the crowd was puzzled, President Meng Chuan smiled. Little guy, what a pure soul force. Old Monster Han, where did you find such a young man? As soon as President Meng Chuan spoke, the surrounding alchemy masters suddenly understood. They quickly sensed the changes in the sky. This is soul force. He actually used his soul force to make a staircase. The elders all sucked in a breath of cold air. This method was too terrifying. Not only did it require a strong soul force, it also required precise control. If there was a slight mistake, he would fall. Song Yunxing and the others' faces were gloomy. They stared at Lin Xian with hatred. This kid, how can he have such a pure soul force? Don't be afraid. Although he's powerful, he still hasn't broken through to the 3rd grade. He's still lacking compared to Duan Fei. Chapter 340. Lin Xian used his soul power to create a staircase and walked through the air. This scene shocked many people. After a moment of silence, the crowd burst into cheers that spread out in all directions like waves. Humph, deliberately mystifying things. Duan Fei's face was cold. He was disdainful of Lin Xian's performance. As long as he wanted to, he could do 100 times better than Lin Xian. Song Qianqian's face also turned cold. She wanted to slap Lin Xian and make him fall to the ground. Lin Xian calmly walked to the stone platform as if he was climbing a staircase to heaven. He slowly sat down and carefully looked at the items on the platform. There were 3 sets of ingredients and a pill formula written on paper. This pill formula required the alchemist to grasp the key details. It was much more difficult. It's about the same as I expected. 3 chances should be enough. Lin Xian put down the pill formula. In the distance, Duan Fei sneered, "No matter how you show off your movement technique, you are still trash on the platform. I will let you know what a 3rd grade alchemist is." As a 3rd grade alchemist, he was confident. In his opinion, defeating Lin Xian was easy and winning was also easy. At this moment, a crisp sound came from the square. A faint light appeared in front of the 500 stone platforms. If one looked carefully, they would see that it was a round bead. In the first round, you have 3 chances. If you can refine a pill within the time limit, you will be able to enter the next round. Now let's begin. As soon as President Meng Chuan finished speaking, all the participants on the stone platforms began to move. At this moment, all the alchemists on the stone platforms took out their pill furnaces and began to refine pills. Pill furnaces of different colors appeared one after another, stimulating everyone's eyes. Lin Xian held the pill formula and carefully thought about it. He simulated the refining process in his mind. In fact, he had refined pills many times. He would take time to practice every day. Furthermore, he had Wine Lord's guidance. His strength far exceeded his peers. After simulating the process in his mind, Lin Xian confirmed the key details before starting. He did not take out his pill furnace. Instead, he drew inscriptions with his bare hands. Inscriptions appeared in the air, mysterious and profound. The ingredients on the stone platforms flew up and began to disintegrate under the effects of the inscriptions. This phenomenon was very special among the pill furnaces that filled the sky. It immediately attracted everyone's attention. Heavens, look, he is not using a pill furnace. He can refine pills without a pill furnace? This is too magical. In Heavenly Mountain Empire, most alchemists used pill furnaces. Because the inscriptions within the pill furnace could increase the success rate. It was their first time seeing someone refining pills with their bare hands like Lin Xian. The crowd's exclamations made the alchemists on the stone platforms. Many alchemists and alchemists of the alchemists of alchemists. When they saw that Lin Xian was really refining pills with his bare hands, their eyelids twitched wildly. There were even a few people who didn't control their emotions well, causing their souls to go out of control. Rumbling sounds could be heard from within the pill furnace. The alchemy furnace trembled and emitted black smoke. Obviously the alchemy had failed. Duan Fei also saw Lin Xian's performance from afar. His face was gloomy, and a hint of hatred appeared in his eyes. In his opinion, Lin Xian was just playing to the gallery. He had stolen all the limelight. As a 3rd-grade alchemist, he should have been the most eye-catching person. However, Lin Xian's appearance made him lose the spotlight. "Damn you, I will teach you a lesson." Duan Fei's voice was filled with killing intent. Song Qianqian was also furious. "You dare to refine pills with your bare hands? Do you really think you are an alchemy grandmaster? When you fail 3 times, I want to see your crying face." Lin Xian's performance made the disciples of the Medicine Emperor Court angry. Even Wu Xiaoyu's expression was ugly. "Pretentious, you are pretentious again." Wu Xiaoyu's face was ferocious. "I don't believe you will not take out your pill furnace." The elders on the spectators' stand were also shocked. Lin Xian's performance had once again exceeded their expectations. Other than DK, everyone else was shocked. Even President Meng Chuan was deep in thought. In fact, even DK was shocked when he saw Lin Xian refining pills with his bare hands for the first time. This guy, he doesn't even know how to hide it in public. DK muttered softly. Song Yunxing and the others trembled when they heard this. Then they looked fiercely at Lin Xian. Their gazes seemed to want to pierce through him. Once Lin Xian started refining, he forgot about everything in the outside world. He threw himself into the alchemy process and used his soul force to sense every detail. Heart blue grass, high-temperature extraction. Lin Xian was stunned for a moment. Flame? Just as he was in a daze, a crack appeared on the inscription in mid-air. It shattered like glass. A crisp sound rang out. Although it was soft, it reached everyone's ears. It shattered, it shattered. Lin Xian's inscription has shattered. Ah, I knew it. That kid was pretending. Now he's screwed up. Wu Xiaoyu laughed maniacally. Flashy but useless trash. Duan Fei said disdainfully. Song Qianqian also looked at him with disdain. At this moment, everyone looked over at Lin Xian. This was especially the case for Song Yunxing and the others. All of them let out gloating expressions. In their opinion, Lin Xian did not have the ability to refine pills with his bare hands. His actions were just to attract everyone's attention. There are 2 more chances, but there's not much time left. Song Yunxing sneered. Lin Xian didn't pay attention to what those people were saying. He looked at the pill formula carefully and pondered. He had already used the inscription pattern to simulate the flame. With his skills, there was no way he would make a mistake. However, the inscription still shattered. That's right. Flame extraction is only to extract the heart blue grass's liquid. I don't have to use flame inscriptions at all. Lin Xian instantly understood. As an inscription master, he faced the situation of failing every day. Even the top alchemy masters could not guarantee a 100% success rate. What they could do was to try their best to increase the success rate. Therefore, the first failure did not affect Lin Xian at all. If he could not even accept this, then how could he talk about reaching the peak of alchemy? Looking around, Lin Xian noticed that the others were refining with all their might. Among them, Duan Fei and Song Qianqian were the fastest. Looking at the fluctuations of the aura, it seemed that they were at the final stage. As expected of a third-grade alchemy master. His ability is not for show. Lin Xian praised. Duan Fei's technique was very practiced. He easily controlled the pill furnace and continuously inscribed inscriptions. As a third-grade alchemy master, this was not difficult for him at all. Song Qianqian was also very relaxed. As Song Yunxing's daughter, she had learned alchemy from Song Yuanxing since she was young. Looking at her technique, she had the demeanor of a master. As expected of the dean's daughter. You have some ability. Chapter 341. Although Lin Xian had only learned alchemy for a short period of time, he had shocking talent. Not only that, he even had a peerless expert like Wine Lord as his teacher. Hence, he wasn't afraid of anyone. With a flick of his finger, Lin Xian drew the inscriptions again. What? He's not using a cauldron? The crowd below was shocked. He's just courting death by refining pills with his bare hands. Song Yunxing sneered. Even the third hall master frowned. What's this brat doing? Doesn't he know that this is a competition? On the other hand, old man DK was very calm. He narrowed his eyes as he sat in his wheelchair, looking very calm. No one knew how terrifying Lin Xian was more than him. Hence he wasn't worried at all. With his first experience, Lin Xian was very familiar with the process. Stalks of herbs were separated and extracted by him. His movements were as smooth as flowing water, extremely pleasing to the eye. The crowd below was dumbfounded. How was this alchemy? This was an art. President Meng Chuan looked at Lin Xian's technique and nodded repeatedly. It doesn't look like the alchemy technique of the Heavenly Mountain Empire. It's a unique style, incomparably exquisite. Time passed bit by bit. During this time, the stone platforms lost their light and became dim. This also meant that the contestants on the stone platforms had used up all 3 chances and could only leave regretfully. Buzz. The air trembled as the fragrance of a pill spread out, becoming thicker and thicker. Everyone looked over and saw Duan Fei slapping his cauldron, causing a round blue pill to fly out. With a wave of his hand, he picked up the pill bottle and quickly placed it into the cauldron. The audience below burst into applause and cheers that shook the heavens. Among them, the Medicine Emperor Hall was the happiest. They were suppressed to the point where they couldn't even raise their heads in the first round. Now they wanted to vent all their anger in the second round. Isn't your pill Emperor Hall powerful? We have a third-grade alchemist, we can crush you to death in minutes. After Duan Fei finished, Song Chanchan also successfully collected her pill. The first two were completed by disciples of the Medicine Emperor Hall. This made the Medicine Emperor Hall extremely happy. After this, more and more contestants completed their alchemy. Many of the Pill Emperor Hall's disciples also completed their alchemy. After all, they were a top force. Although they didn't have a third-grade alchemist, they still had quite a few second-grade alchemists. However, Lin Xian, who had performed amazingly before, was still in the process of refining. Time was running out. At this moment, everyone looked at Lin Xian. Could it be that he was going to retreat after being defeated here? That's for sure. Do you really think you can concoct pills without using a pill furnace? The disciple from the Medicine Emperor courtyard sneered. Let's see how he's going to deal with this. Duan Fei looked over and sneered, trash will always be trash. When you need real ability, you'll become so weak that you can't even withstand a single blow. How are you going to compete with us with this level of skill? Song Chanchan scoffed. Even old man DK was a little worried. This kid won't screw it up, right? The time had already entered the countdown, but Lin Xian still hadn't finished. Fuck, hurry up, we're running out of time. A disciple from the Pill Emperor Hall anxiously shouted. However, Lin Xian didn't panic at all. His hands were unusually steady. At the last moment, he suddenly opened his eyes and waved his hands. The liquid in his hands rapidly gathered together, forming a round pill. At this moment, a dazzling blue light shone in the sky. With a wave of his hand, Lin Xian placed the pill into a pill bottle. Fuck, that scared me to death. The disciple from the Pill Emperor Hall was sweating profusely. Even the palms of the elders below were sweating. However, Lin Xian still had a confident smile on his face. He didn't panic at all. Your luck is very good, but I'm afraid you won't have such a chance next time. Duan Fei had an arrogant look on his face. Is that so? Luck is also a part of one's strength. Don't you know? Lin Xian smiled. You only know how to talk. Alchemists don't rely on their mouths to make a living. Song Chanchan snorted. Lin Xian shrugged. He wasn't willing to explain himself to these senseless people. On the spectator stand, DK and the others heaved a sigh of relief. I can't take it anymore. I'm old. I can't take this kind of stimulation anymore. Song Yunxing snorted. You can laugh after the quality check is over. I don't think a pill refined with bare hands can be any good. Elder Blackheart beside him was very confident. In terms of quality, no one could compare to Duan Fei. Everyone fell silent. Duan Fei was a third-grade alchemist. He had an absolute advantage. Alright, the pill refining segment is over. Now, participants without any light on the stone platform, please step down. President Meng Chuan said loudly. Immediately, the participating disciples walked down the stone platform dejectedly. Their eyes were filled with unwillingness. Just a little bit more, just a little bit more. Give me a few more breaths of time and I'll definitely be able to complete it. That's right. I only have 3 chances. Maybe I'll succeed on the 4th try. These people left with endless resentment. The square suddenly became much emptier. Lin Xian was astonished. He stared at the empty stone platform with shock in his heart. More than 100 people were eliminated. This elimination rate was truly terrifying. Next we will test the pills. The quality of the pills will also be recorded in your results. Of course, we will also eliminate some useless pills during this process. Now let's begin the pill testing. After President Meng Chuan finished speaking, a fist-sized groove appeared in the center of the stone platform. By placing the pills inside, the quality of the pills would be tested. Everyone followed his instructions and placed their pills into the groove. Lin Xian looked curiously at the groove and placed his pills in as well. In the next moment, the stone platforms in the square began to emit different colors. Some of the blue lights were as bright as stars, while others were as bright as fireflies. Different intensities represented different grades. Of course, there were also some stone platforms that completely dimmed. This meant that the pills refined were useless and would also be eliminated. Impossible. How can the pills I refined be useless? There must be a problem with the test. Some participants were unconvinced. What a scam. Not a single key detail was given. How can it be refined? Dozens of participants walked down the stone platform while cursing. 1 or 2 lunatics slammed the stone platform with all their might to vent their dissatisfaction. But even so, it didn't change the fact that they were eliminated. At this moment, a blue pillar of light lit up, illuminating the surroundings. Wow, this blue light is so bright. It's Duan Fei. Do you guys see? He's from our Medicine Emperor Hall. A disciple from the Medicine Emperor Hall exclaimed in excitement. It's actually a high-grade emptiness pill. As expected of a third-grade alchemist. An elder from the Inscription Alliance nodded with a smile. Buzz. Another blue light flashed, and the stone platform Song Chanchan was on also glowed. Although this light was slightly weaker than Duan Fei's, it was still at the level of a high-grade emptiness pill. Rays of blue light flashed, revealing the grades of the pills refined by the participants. Other than Duan Fei and Song Chanchan, someone from the Pill Emperor Hall also refined a high-grade pill. But compared to the Medicine Emperor Hall, it was still lacking. Not to mention Duan Fei, even Song Chanchan's pill was brighter than the Pill Emperor Hall's. Is the Pill Emperor Hall going to lose? There's still hope. Lin Xian's pill hasn't been tested yet. Chapter 342. Other than Lin Xian, all the pills concocted by the disciples of the Pill Emperor Hall had already been lost to the Medicine Emperor Hall. Hence, Lin Xian became the last hope of the crowd. Duan Fei's face was cold as he held onto his cauldron, his eyes filled with disdain. As a third-grade alchemist, he didn't place Lin Xian in his eyes at all. How can a pill concocted with his bare hands be better than one concocted with a top-grade cauldron? Song Chanchan sneered. The majority of the crowd didn't have high hopes for Lin Xian. Firstly, it was because Lin Xian was only a second-grade alchemist. It was impossible for him to win against Duan Fei. Secondly, these people didn't believe that Lin Xian could concoct pills with his bare hands. At most, he was just trying to please the crowd. Lin Xian wasn't anxious at all. He calmly waited for the result. It's been so long there's no movement. Could it be a waste pill? Someone asked. It's very possible. If that's the case, the Pill Emperor Hall is finished. Soon after, this suspicion spread in all directions. Everyone thought that Lin Xian had concocted a waste pill. Those from the Pill Emperor Hall felt their hearts in their mouths. The stone platform trembled slightly as a faint blue light appeared. It's out, but the light is so weak. A disciple from the Medicine Emperor Hall laughed. Boom. Before he could finish his sentence, a beam of blue light gushed out, as bright as the sun, illuminating the surroundings. Everyone covered their eyes with their hands as they exclaimed in shock. Heavens, what a dazzling light! Impossible, didn't he concoct a waste pill? Those from the Medicine Emperor Hall couldn't believe it. Seeing the light, Duan Fei's face sank. His expression was gloomy as he clenched his fists. Spiritual energy surged violently in his body. Damnable fellow, what did he concoct? Duan Fei couldn't understand why the light was so dazzling. Song Chanchan's face was also pale. Her beautiful eyes were filled with disbelief. On the viewing platform, President Meng Chuan narrowed his eyes as he stared at the blue light in the sky. He took a deep breath and said, "Top-grade clarity pill." Top grade. Everyone was stunned for a moment before they sucked in a breath of cold air. Generally, high-grade medicinal pills were already very good. However, above high-grade medicinal pills, there was a type of peak-grade medicinal pill. This kind of pill could only be refined by very few alchemy grandmasters, and it also required a certain amount of luck. Elder Blackheart's expression was ugly. He had said before the competition that Duan Fei would definitely win. However, he was slapped in the face again. He was about to go crazy. Ever since he met Lin Xian, every word he said could not be fulfilled. He was an alchemy grandmaster. Even Song Yunxing had to be respectful to him. However, he was repeatedly defeated by Lin Xian. This brat is very strange. He seems to specialize in restraining me. The more Elder Blackheart thought about it, the more terrified he became. This kid can't be allowed to live. Murderous intent appeared in his eyes. If he allowed Lin Xian to succeed, he would only become more and more unlucky. Song Yunxing, who was standing at the side, trembled slightly. He could feel the terrifying killing intent, and his heart was in turmoil. It seems like Elder Blackheart wants to kill him. That's good. There's no need for a person like Lin Xian to live in this world. The people from the Medicine Emperor courtyard sat there with ugly expressions. However, the Pill Emperor Hall elders beside them were all laughing. Young Master Lin is too naughty. He always makes it so thrilling. Elder Jean laughed. We're old. Our hearts can't withstand such torment. What do you know? This is exciting. The group of elders was in a good mood. Asterisk 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 luck? It must be asterisk 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 luck. Duan Fei roared in his heart. I don't believe you can keep being lucky. If it's just luck, it will run out sooner or later. In the next few rounds, I will make you suffer a crushing defeat. Duan Fei said angrily. Is that so? I'm afraid you'll be disappointed. Good luck will follow me forever. Lin Xian's lips curled up. Hee hee, old Han, this little fellow is not bad. Meng Chuan laughed. DK nodded. To be honest, I don't know where his bottom line is. However, it doesn't seem difficult to defeat Duan Fei. As the old monsters conversed, another change occurred in the square. A blinding blue light soared into the sky, illuminating the surroundings. Damn, another top-notch pill. Everyone was in an uproar. Had they seen a ghost today? 2 top-notch pills had appeared. At that moment, everyone was shocked as they looked towards the source of the light. Even Lin Xian frowned. Before this, he hadn't discovered any experts. The blue light was like the sun, preventing everyone from opening their eyes. Lin Xian used his ocular technique and looked behind him. There was a red-robed alchemist there. He wore a cloak that concealed his entire body. He's actually an alchemist from a small faction? Lin Xian frowned. This person gave him a strange feeling. It reminded him of someone from the Nether Hall. However, if this person belonged to the Black Dragon sect, what was Elder Blackheart's identity? For a moment, Lin Xian frowned. He couldn't figure it out. Originally, he thought that Elder Blackheart was from the Black Dragon sect, but now he had his doubts. Lin Xian wasn't the only one who was puzzled. Everyone else was shocked. A top-notch pill was too shocking. If Lin Xian was able to refine it, everyone would be able to accept it. After all, Lin Xian had made the Medicine Emperor courtyard suffer a great loss a few days ago. But now, an unknown alchemist had actually managed to refine a top-grade pill. This was simply too shocking. Duan Fei's face couldn't be any darker. Before the competition, he disdained to compete with Lin Xian and the others. But now, 2 people had surpassed him in alchemy. Furthermore, neither of them was a third-grade alchemist. This dealt a heavy blow to his confidence. Who is this person? Not only were Lin Xian and the others shocked, but Meng Chuan and the other seniors were also surprised. The elders looked at each other and shook their heads. They didn't recognize the red-robed alchemist. Which faction is he from? Meng Chuan asked. The middle-aged man beside him hurriedly flipped through the information and quickly said, He's a participant from the He family. He family? Meng Chuan frowned slightly as he looked at the red-robed alchemist. Sensing everyone's gazes, the red-robed alchemist raised his head. Under the red cloak was a very young and tender face. His long and narrow eyes actually carried a trace of green light. How is this possible? He's so young. Everyone was alarmed. Lin Xian pursed his lips. From the looks of it, he's at most 14 or 15 years old. He's just a child. It's impossible for him to refine top-notch pills at such a young age. DK shook his head. If there really was such an alchemy genius, they would have long heard of him. Check his details, said Meng Chuan in a deep voice. Found him. He's a 15-year-old participant from the He family. His name is Hin Yen. Hin Yen? Many elders in the spectator stands tried their best to recall, but they had never heard of this name. What do you think? Meng Chuan asked. I think I saw his alchemy technique just now. It doesn't look like a technique from Heavenly Mountain, said an elder beside him. Chapter 343. Even if he's an alchemy inscription master from another country, we should have heard of such a young genius, said Song Yunxing in a deep voice. He was in an extremely bad mood. One Lin Xian was enough to annoy him, but now another genius had appeared. If this continued, they would definitely lose the second round. If they lost the second round, the Medicine Emperor courtyard would have no chance of becoming the champion. There's no rule against finding helpers in the competition. Everyone knows this. Therefore, even if he's not from Heavenly Mountain, we can't stop him from participating in the competition. Unless what? Seeing Meng Chuan remain silent, the surrounding elders turned anxious. Unless he's over 30 years old. That would violate the competition rules. Over 30 years old? Wu Xiong was stunned. Does guild leader Meng suspect that he's faking it? We can't rule out that possibility. After all, he can refine top-notch pills at such a young age. His talent is too terrifying. It wasn't their fault for being surprised. This talent was indeed terrifying. After all, these people were all top masters in Heavenly Mountain Empire. When they were 15 years old, they could only inscribe pill patterns. Not to mention alchemy. Even Lin Xian, who was already 18 years old, was no exception. According to the customs of the Lingwu continent, an 18-year-old was an adult. Get him to remove his cloak. Let's investigate him properly, said Song Yunxing in a deep voice. President Meng Chuan shook his head and said to the people beside him, "Where's the He family? Get them to come over." While Meng Chuan and company were discussing, the crowd below was also discussing. They hadn't expected such a change, but they were all excited. A dark horse. 2 dark horses actually appeared at once. This year's competition is too exciting. It seems like this change has shocked the Inscription Union. I originally thought that Lin Xian would be the big winner. I never expected there to be such a change. As everyone was discussing, a middle-aged man in a red robe appeared in the stands. He Ming from the He family greets seniors. "Are you the He family's family head?" asked Meng Chuan in a deep voice. "Yes," He Ming asked cautiously. "May I know why seniors are looking for me? Is He Nian, who refined a top-notch pill, a disciple of your He family?" "Yes." He Ming revealed a smug expression. He Nian has been talented in alchemy since he was young. Furthermore, he was taught by an expert before, which is why he was able to refine that kind of pill. An expert? DK was suspicious. Are experts so common nowadays? "Let him take off his cloak," Song Yunxing said. "All right," He Ming replied respectfully. Then he turned to the square and shouted, "He Nian, take off your cloak." Everyone looked over curiously, wanting to see the true face of this young genius. On the stone platform, the red-robed disciple slowly stood up and reached out his fair hand to take off the cloak on his head. Her black hair fluttered in the wind, and under the cloak was an abnormally pale face, as if she had never seen the sun for a long time. A pair of dark green eyes, incomparably cold, without a trace of emotion. This He Nian is actually a young girl? Everyone was stunned. Meng Chuan and the other elders used their soul force to investigate and discovered that it wasn't a disguise. However, the pair of dark green eyes made them feel inexplicably uncomfortable. Lin Xian used his ocular technique and looked up. In the distance, He Nian seemed to sense Lin Xian's gaze and suddenly turned her head. His dark green eyes actually glowed with a strange light. The corners of her mouth curled up into a cold smile. Such cold eyes. She doesn't look like a young girl at all. Lin Xian was puzzled, but he couldn't find any evidence. It wasn't just Lin Xian. Meng Chuan and company couldn't find any evidence either. "What's with her eyes?" DK asked. "It's a special cultivation technique. After cultivating it, one will become like this. Furthermore, they will become especially cold," He Ming answered. "You may leave," Meng Chuan said. "Yes." After He Ming left, Meng Chuan and company frowned. "It feels very strange. I'm guessing that she's definitely not a young girl." Third Palace Master snorted coldly. "But we don't have any evidence. It's useless even if we say it. We might even be criticized for bullying the weak." DK shook his head. "We can only continue with the competition," President Meng Chuan said. Then he stood up and said in a clear voice, "We discussed it just now. The results of the competition are out. The current leaders are Lin Xian from Pill Emperor Hall and He Nian from He Clan. The third place is Duan Fei from Medicine Emperor Hall. Next, the second round will begin. Everyone please prepare." Everyone was shocked. They didn't expect that the unknown He Clan would produce a dark horse. Even the Medicine Emperor Hall was defeated. Is the Medicine Emperor Hall going to suffer another tragedy? Many people guessed. On the stone platform, Duan Fei's face was cold. Damn it. Where did this brat come from? He can actually refine a top-grade pill. He was going crazy. He couldn't wait for the second round's questions to be extremely difficult. That way he would be able to use his advantage as a third-grade alchemist. As President Meng Chuan's voice fell, the stone platform changed. The mechanism below delivered new things. This time there were 2 sets of medicinal ingredients. Beside them was a jade slip. Many people were overjoyed. Jade slips were different from paper. They could record the details of refining pills. With a jade slip, the success rate of refining pills could increase by 40%. Jade slip? Lin Xian had a strange expression on his face. Logically speaking, the question should be harder and harder. Now that the jade slip was given out, it should be very strange. He picked up the jade slip and used his soul force to scan it. After a while, he smiled bitterly and rubbed his nose. The jade slip recorded the recipe of a pill called Vitality Pill. It was very detailed and comprehensive. All the key details were clearly explained. As long as one followed the recipe, the success rate would reach 80%. Could it be that the questions are easy? Just when Lin Xian was doubting, President Meng Chuan spoke again. The rules are the same as the previous round. If you succeed in refining within the time limit, you can enter the next round. After explaining the rules, many participants impatiently began to refine their pills. Reading the jade slip to refine pills, they were all too familiar with this process. Medicinal ingredients were placed into the furnace one by one. Everyone's faces were filled with excitement. I forget it. Let's refine according to the recipe first. Lin Xian shrugged and began to draw the inscription. In the distance, the young girl Hinyan once again put on her cloak, covering half of her face. She picked up the jade slip and quickly read through it. The corner of Hinyan's mouth curled up into a sneer. The green light in her eyes intensified. Low-level tricks. Is this the standard of the Heavenly Mountain Empire's people? It seems that I will win the second round easily. After saying that, she drew a strange arc with her palm, constantly controlling the furnace. Chapter 344. With the jade slip pill formulas, refining medicinal pills became much simpler. Many participants couldn't wait to start refining pills. They wanted to obtain a good ranking. However, there were some who remained skeptical. They didn't believe that the second round would be so simple, so they read the jade slip pill formula over and over again. However, no matter how they looked at it, there was no problem. It doesn't seem fake. Song Chanshan rested her chin on her hand as she pondered seriously. No matter what the problem is, it won't stump me. Duan Fei was full of confidence. In the end, they all chose to start refining pills. Wind Moon Plaza fell silent once again. Everyone waited patiently as they whispered about who would win. In the stands, Meng Chuan and company focused their attention on the red-robed girl named Hinyan. They constantly analyzed her every move. Looking at her cauldron control and habit of collecting herbs, it's hard to believe that she's a 15-year-old youth. Her proficiency level is at least a few decades. There must be something wrong with her. These people were all alchemy masters. When they observed a person together, they quickly discovered something amiss. However, this alone wasn't enough to expose her. Meng Chuan sighed. Although I don't know what her goal is, I don't wish for the second round's victor to be an unknown person. Don't worry, guild leader Meng. Lin Xin won't lose, said DK with a smile. Duan Fei is a third-grade alchemist. It's even more impossible for him to lose. Song Yunxing snorted coldly. Just as these people were conversing, there was a new change in the plaza. Bam! In the quiet square, a low and deep sound suddenly rang out. Everyone looked up in puzzlement and saw black smoke coming out of a participant's cauldron. What's going on? What happened? It looks like a cauldron explosion. A cauldron explosion? Everyone had strange expressions. However, when they discovered the identity of the disciple, their expressions became even stranger. That seems to be a disciple of the Medicine Sovereign Court. Why did his cauldron explode again? Everyone noticed this and quite a few people laughed softly. The faces of the people from the Medicine Sovereign Court immediately darkened. Their cauldron explosion had yet to calm down, and now, another cauldron explosion happened in public. Trash, you're really trash. Song Yunxing was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. He growled in a low voice, "Who can tell me what's going on?" The surrounding elders of the Medicine Sovereign Hall all had extremely heavy expressions on their faces. They were all silent, not knowing how to reply. I think the standard of your Medicine Emperor courtyard is really too low. You might as well close your doors. Third Hall Master Wu Xiong mocked mercilessly. The faces of those from the Medicine Emperor courtyard turned red, and they felt like dying. On the stone platform, the disciple whose furnace exploded was also stunned. His eyes were empty as he repeated the words repeatedly. That's impossible. I'm following the pill recipe. There's no way I'm wrong. How could this be? Ha ha. Sure enough, another cauldron explosion. Wu Xiaoyu gloated, your Medicine Emperor courtyard really specializes in cauldron explosions. As soon as he finished speaking, another bang was heard, and the sound of a furnace exploding came from the stone platform. Wu Xiaoyu's face was charred black. The smile on his face gradually disappeared, and his expression became uglier and uglier. Fuck, what's going on? It's impossible for me to make a mistake. Damn you, it's all your fault. You passed on your bad habit of cauldron explosions to me. Get the hell away from me. Wu Xiaoyu roared madly. The crowd below was also stunned. There was actually someone whose furnace exploded. And the two of them were standing right next to each other. Could it be that cauldron explosions were really contagious? Seems like the disciples of the Pill Emperor Hall aren't much. Song Yunxing's expression softened. The one whose furnace exploded seems to be Brother Wu's son, right? I really don't know how Brother Wu teaches his juniors. Song Yunxing finally found a chance to retaliate. The other elders of the Medicine Emperor courtyard also mocked and ridiculed. You. The third hall master was so angry that he was trembling. His hands were clenched so tightly that creaking sounds could be heard. This is too embarrassing. Little brat, see how I'll deal with you when we return. The third hall master gritted his teeth. Just as the crowd was discussing and mocking, the stone platform changed again. Bang bang bang. Continuous sounds rang out like firecrackers exploding in the air. Almost half of the participants had their furnaces exploding. This. Everyone was stunned. There's a problem. DK furrowed his brows. If one or two people had their furnaces exploding, it would definitely be because they weren't skilled enough. But if over 100 people made the same mistake, it would be strange. Seems like the second round isn't as simple as we thought. Not far away, Elder Blackheart's eyes flickered. With so many people exploding their furnaces at the same time, it created a loud sound that directly disturbed the other participants. More and more people had failed, and even the air was filled with impatience and uneasiness. Bang! Song Chanshan's furnace trembled and black smoke rose from it. Failed? She bit her lips and her face was filled with doubt. Lin Xian took a deep breath. He was still holding a stalk of medicinal herb in his hand. He was supposed to put it in at this moment. However, he stopped in his tracks. He knew Song Chanshan's strength. She could be considered one of the top 5 existences here. However, even she had failed. This matter was too strange. Could there be a problem with the pill formula? He immediately thought of the pill formula. Because not long ago, he had also created a fake pill formula that caused the Medicine Emperor courtyard's furnace to explode. But there were many kinds of fake pill formulas that could cause a furnace to explode. Lin Xian didn't know which one it was. As expected of the Pill King competition, it can actually deceive everyone. Lin Xian sighed softly in his heart. He could only investigate bit by bit, and ensure that he found the problem during the refinement process. Not long after, Shi Taishang's voice sounded again. Duan Fei sat with a gloomy expression. In front of him was a useless pill. Damn it, where did it go wrong? He scratched his head hard and read the pill formula again. The crowd below exclaimed, Duan Fei is one of the 3 alchemists. Even he has failed. Looks like the second round is much more difficult than expected. There are still 5 people left. I wonder if they can succeed in one go? The crowd began to look forward to it. Among the 5 people who were still refining, there was Lin Xian and the red-robed girl, He Nian. The remaining 3 were alchemists from other factions. Because they had refined late, they probably hadn't made a mistake yet. Even so, their foreheads were already covered in sweat. Time passed. Someone began to refine again. But not long after, a low sound came from the sky again. Looking at the shattered pill, the Medicine Emperor courtyard participant wanted to cry but had no tears. Damn it, what kind of lousy pill formula is this? I clearly refined according to the formula. That disciple's face was filled with unwillingness as he cursed crazily. There were only 2 chances in the second round, so that disciple was eliminated. Seeing his lonely figure walk down the stone stage, the remaining participants felt a chill in their hearts. Chapter 345. The Wind Moon Plaza fell into silence. Every contestant was racking their brains. Those who had the slightest idea did not dare to try again. After all, they only had one chance. If they failed, they could only leave. Just like that, everyone fell into a vicious circle. Sensing the tense atmosphere in the air, Lin Xian became even more careful. He merged the herbs one by one, and the pill slowly took shape. Everyone's eyes were on him. Merge the purple lilac, inky jade grass, and yellow sand fruit. Lin Xian put in the purple lilac. When he picked up the inky jade grass, his body suddenly trembled. That's not right. He seemed to have realized something and his face became very ugly. The order is wrong. Although the pill recipe said to merge the 3 herbs, it did not say the order. Obviously, the order listed was not the order of merging. This was a detail. Most people would merge according to the order listed, but who would have thought that it was randomly listed and was not the order of merging? A group of old foxes. They are indeed sinister. Lin Xian's face darkened. He now understood, but the order was wrong. So I forget it. There's still one more chance. I should be able to succeed. Lin Xian put in the yellow sand fruit, which immediately caused the pill to tremble. The inscriptions were broken and the pill refinement failed. The pill that was about to take shape shattered into pieces and fell on the stone platform. He failed again. Even Lin Xian failed. Is the second round really that difficult? Everyone's faces were ugly. He failed as expected. I didn't even notice the problem. How could he succeed? Duan Fei sneered. When the people from the Medicine Emperor court saw that Lin Xian also failed, they all breathed a sigh of relief. To be honest, they were really afraid that Lin Xian would succeed on his first try. It seems that he must have been lucky to succeed in the previous round. Elder Blackheart snorted. Everyone was back to the starting line. It was up to who could find the problem first. Everyone waited. No, there's another person refining. Elder DK's pupils constricted. At that moment, everyone looked at the stone platform. The hundreds of contestants on the platform all stopped refining and were thinking hard. However, in the corner, there was a red-robed figure who was calmly refining. It's her, a disciple of the He family. Everyone was stunned. They realized that He Nian's furnace did not explode. How could this be? Is there no problem with the pill formula? Many people were stunned. Could it be that she has found the problem? Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. If that was really the case, then this He Nian was too terrifying. Impossible, that guy definitely hasn't reached the crucial point yet. Duan Fei didn't believe it. It wasn't just Duan Fei who didn't believe it. The alchemy grandmasters in the stands didn't believe it either. Song Yunxing's face darkened. Damn it, who the hell is this guy? Old Meng, what's wrong with you? Those little guys are all stumped. DK frowned. If we let this unknown guy win, I'm afraid the consequences won't be good, right? Sigh, now I'm sure that person isn't a 15-year-old girl. Meng Chuan said in a deep voice. I hope someone can discover the problem. In the square, looking at the relaxed red-robed girl, everyone was very anxious. A bunch of idiots. You can't even see the problem. The red-robed girl scoffed. Although her voice was very soft, the square was very quiet. Furthermore, everyone's cultivation levels weren't low. Therefore, everyone heard her words very clearly. Damn it, what's with the arrogance? Duan Fei was furious. As a third-grade alchemist, it was already very embarrassing that he didn't find the problem immediately. Now, someone was mocking him in front of his face. This was unbearable. However, he couldn't find a way to retaliate. He could only be angry. By the side, Song Chanqian and company also had bitter expressions. That fellow actually didn't make any mistakes. It looks like she must have found the problem. Lin Xian frowned. From the looks of it, she's only halfway through the refinement. There should still be a chance for her to catch up. With this thought in mind, Lin Xian's gaze turned sharp. His goal was the White Dragon Ascension pill, so he had to win. With a wave of his hand, the last herb floated into the air. Lin Xian's fingers danced as he quickly separated and extracted the herbs. Under the effect of the inscription, the 5 herbs tumbled and gradually disintegrated. Fuck, is he crazy? He's actually extracting 5 herbs at the same time. Everyone exclaimed when they saw Lin Xian's actions. He's only a second-grade inscription master. He actually dares to operate on multiple lines. Isn't he afraid of making a mistake? This is the last chance. He can't be careless. A second-grade inscription master dares to operate on 5 lines. He's courting death. Duan Fei sneered. He didn't think Lin Xian could succeed. In the stands, the elders were also shocked when they saw Lin Xian's actions. However, President Meng Chuan heaved a sigh of relief. Little fellow, have you found the problem? Lin Xian pushed his soul force to the limit. His fingers were abnormally nimble as they drew lines of inscription in the air as fast as lightning. In almost an instant, he finished separating the herbs. What the hell, he actually succeeded. Wu Xiaoyu was shocked. Duan Fei, Song Chanqian, and the others had ugly expressions. Lin Xian had once again exceeded their expectations. He's so fast. Is he competing with He Nian? Someone asked doubtfully. Seems to be true. Everyone realized the situation. Could it be that Lin Xian discovered the problem? Thinking of this, they all widened their eyes. Because He Nian was using a cauldron, no one could see the refining process. However, Lin Xian was different. He was refining with his bare hands. The entire process was exposed. In the corner, He Nian sneered when she learned that Lin Xian wanted to compete with her for first place. What a fool. If you want to compete with me, you'll have to train for a few more decades. With that, she increased her refining speed. After Lin Xian extracted all the herbs, he began to fuse them. He stretched out his finger and the 3 balls of liquid fused together. Heavens, even the fusion is a multi-line operation. Is this guy still human? Is he really only a second-grade inscription master? Why do I feel that he's stronger than a third-grade inscription master? Everyone exclaimed. They looked at Lin Xian even more seriously. Soon it's almost the purple lilac grass. I failed here last time. Song Chanshan became nervous. Everyone clenched their fists. They had all failed in this place. You put in the yellow sand fruit first? Song Chanshan exclaimed. Lin Xian fused the yellow sand fruit first, followed by the purple lilac grass and inky jade grass. In an instant, everyone understood. The order on the pill formula is wrong. Fuck, how sinister. I actually defaulted to the order. Many disciples exclaimed and kept slapping their heads. Duan Fei, Song Chanshan, and the others' expressions changed. If it was a normal pill refinement, they wouldn't have made such a mistake. However, they were nervous in the Pill King competition today. Due to their loss in the first round and the pressure from Lin Xian and He Nian, they neglected this detail. However, everything was fine now. Everything was clear. Chapter 346. Lin Xian's pill refining process was seen by everyone, so the problem that troubled them was solved. When the people below learned about it, they were also enlightened. They were even more impressed with Lin Xian. He was actually able to find the crux of the problem in an instant. However, what shocked them even more was that He Nian was even faster than Lin Xian. Seeing that everyone had started refining pills, Meng Chuan and the other elders of the Inscription Union heaved a sigh of relief. It's not too late. There's still a chance. There wasn't much time left. Everyone was going all out. Lin Xian quickly fused and pushed his strength to the limit. He was very fast, but He Nian was even faster. We can't, that guy is too terrifying. The Pill Emperor Hall elder below sighed. No, Lin Xian will definitely win. DK clenched his fists. Lin Xian and He Nian attracted countless gazes. Their techniques were very exquisite, dazzling the eyes of the spectators. Lin Xian's multitasking greatly shortened the time. It didn't take long for him to catch up to He Nian. However, He Nian relied on her experienced techniques and didn't let Lin Xian overtake her. Who do you think will be the first? DK asked worriedly. President Meng Chuan's eyes flashed. He tapped his finger lightly on the chair. We can't be sure yet. Although Lin Xian's multitasking is amazing, He Nian is even more experienced. Her experience allows her to save a lot of unnecessary movements. So, the result is really hard to guess. The elders fell silent. If President Meng Chuan couldn't tell, they couldn't tell either. It seemed that they could only wait patiently. Lin Xian was multitasking. He fused 3 balls of liquid at the same time. Although he was extremely fast, the consumption of his soul was also huge. At this moment, his forehead was covered in sweat and his face was pale. It was obvious that he had consumed too much of his soul. Humph, you want to play with me? Too inexperienced. Ying Yan sneered. The crowd below also noticed this problem, and many people stood up nervously. Not good, Lin Xian can't hold on any longer. Is the Pill Emperor Hall going to lose? Old man DK also sat up straight and supported himself on the wheelchair with both hands. Lin Xian, you can't lose. In the corner, the He family members looked up at the sky, and an undetectable green light appeared in their eyes. He Nian is about to form a pill. Someone called out and everyone's gazes shifted to the source of the voice. On the stone platform, He Nian's cauldron was emitting a pill fragrance, and it was getting thicker and thicker. If this goes on, we're going to lose. Lin Xian gritted his teeth, a hint of viciousness appearing in his eyes. I must obtain the White Dragon Ascension pill. His fingers moved, and the 3 balls of liquid suddenly collided together, continuously fusing and splashing. Fuck, he's crazy. He's too impatient. He can't control this fusion method at all. President Meng Chuan shook his head and sighed. Hurry up and separate. If this goes on, it will become a waste pill. Old man DK was also anxious. However, Lin Xian ignored them. He crazily circulated his soul power, and at the same time he circulated the soul cultivation method Wine Lord had taught him. His soul power surged out and controlled the fusion of the pills, but this process only lasted for a few seconds before it lost its effect. Sai, it's over. It's going to become a waste pill. Yeah, Lin Xian is too impatient. I knew this kid couldn't do it. Song Yunxing snorted coldly. DK on the other hand looked disappointed. He won so easily. He Nian also sensed Lin Xian's situation, and the disdain in his eyes deepened. However, at this moment, Lin Xian's eyes suddenly lit up. The surrounding air trembled like boiling water. A massive wave of soul power surged out of Lin Xian's body and swept out in all directions. This. Everyone stared blankly at the stone platform and exclaimed. Nearby, Song Chanchan, Duanfei and company also felt the soul power, and their expressions changed. A third-grade alchemist. Duanfei screamed. Impossible, he actually broke through. Song Chanchan's face was filled with shock. The powerful soul power enveloped the pill and quickly fused it into a pill. Buzz. The void trembled and inscriptions flashed. A pill fragrance wafted out. Following that, Lin Xian's fingers moved, and a pure white pill was placed into a bottle. It all happened in an instant. By the time everyone reacted, Lin Xian had already refined the pill. Too cool, he actually broke through at the last moment. That's great, as expected of a genius. Old man DK laughed loudly. Damn it. Hinian's face was ferocious, and her pupils turned into the shape of a date seed, emitting a dark green glow. Fortunately, she was covered by a cloak, so no one noticed. Who is this guy? She gritted her teeth and spat out those words. Her expression did not look like a 15-year-old child at all. However, no matter how irritable she was, she could not change this fact. Not long after, Hinian's cauldron trembled and a round pill floated out. This speed was already very shocking, but it still lost to Lin Xian. The entire square was filled with tsunami-like cheers. These cheers were for Lin Xian. Everyone was convinced by his stunning performance. Little Xian, you were very decisive just now. Aren't you afraid of failure? Wine Lord asked with a chuckle. To me, getting second place is no different from failure, Lin Xian replied with a voice transmission. Didn't I succeed? It looks like my decision was right. This youth is not simple. A smile appeared on Meng Chuan's face. He had lived for 200 years, but he had never seen a youth as stunning as Lin Xian. Not only was he extremely talented, but his courage and determination were also firm. Such a person would definitely be an influential figure on the continent in the future. Lin Xian held the pill bottle in his hand and turned back with a smile. He looked at Hinian. Following that, he gave her a provocative look. Humph? Don't be so smug. You were just lucky to break through at the last minute. You won't be so lucky next time. I will use all my strength to defeat you. Hinian's voice was cold. Lin Xian shrugged his shoulders. I'm looking forward to it. Beside him, Duanfei was trembling with anger. Damn it, this fellow actually broke through. Up until now, he had not defeated Lin Xian once. Now that Lin Xian had become a third-grade alchemist, his chances of winning were even smaller. Don't think that you will definitely win just because you're a third-grade alchemist. I still have a trump card. Duanfei calmed down and touched the storage ring on his finger. After a period of time, the time limit ended. At this time, a total of 103 people had successfully refined their pills. The rest were eliminated. Over 200 people had been eliminated in this round. It was truly terrifying. Next was the examination of the pills. During this process, dozens of people were eliminated. In the end, only 56 people passed. Alright, I'm sure everyone is tired. Today's competition will end here. We will continue tomorrow, said President Meng Chuan. Many participants heaved a sigh of relief. To be honest, they had used up all their soul power. There was no way they could continue the competition. Lin Xian didn't mind. He had just broken through, so his soul power was very strong. Chapter 347. Feng Yu Chengyan. Everyone from the He clan was resting here. Damn it, we were so close to getting first place. In the room, He Nian said in a cold tone. We didn't expect a sudden breakthrough, but we still have a chance to win tomorrow's round. He Ming said in a low voice. He still wanted to say something, but he frowned and shouted coldly, Who is it? Come out. Whoosh. A black fog floated in and rolled in the air, forming a human figure. Old Black Heart? What are you doing here? He Ming shouted coldly, no longer as humble as he was during the day. It's you. Elder Blackheart's eyes flashed, black chi surrounded his body. What's your goal this time, the White Dragon Ascension pill? That's none of your business. He Ming sneered, Old Blackheart, I won't let you get the pill. Then let's wait and see. I don't believe that you guys can achieve anything in the field of alchemy. Elder Blackheart sneered, his body turned into ghost fog again and disappeared in the air. He's from Blackheart Hall? He Nian was puzzled. He Ming nodded, Don't hold back, we must get the pill. Have a good rest, you must win tomorrow's competition. He Ming said a few more words and left. Dan Emperor Hall. A dark red shadow floated towards the eastern pavilion without attracting anyone's attention. In the room, Lin Xian was sitting cross-legged, trying his best to stabilize his soul realm. Suddenly he opened his eyes. His gaze was like a sharp sword, piercing through the void and flying out of the room. Ding ding. The sound of collision was heard. Lin Xian's footsteps flashed, and he appeared outside the door. Don't you think it's too late to leave? He stretched out his palm, silver lightning surged, forming the shadow of a dragon claw. It was like a dragon capturing hand, grabbing at the dark red shadow. Buzz. Even a harmonious spirit expert would be injured by this attack. The dark red shadow didn't expect Lin Xian to be so strong. Seeing the silver claw about to grab him, his body emitted a dark red light. Bang! Lin Xian grabbed him with his palm. The shadow groaned and used a secret technique, turning into a ray of light and quickly escaped. Lin Xian was astonished. He felt that the thing he had grabbed was slippery and disgusting. He retracted his hand and looked at it carefully. What's this? Lin Xian was stunned. What he had grabbed was actually a piece of snakeskin. On top of the snakeskin there was a red pill robe. This is the He family's clothing, but why is it made of snakeskin? Lin Xian was puzzled. Could it be? He didn't dare to continue thinking about it. This kind of thing was too terrifying. No, he had to tell old man Deke. Lin Xian took the item and disappeared on the spot. Senior DK, are you asleep? Lin Xian quickly arrived in front of a hall. Hee little friend Lin, what's the matter at this hour? Old man DK pushed his wheelchair out with a puzzled look on his face. Look at this, Lin Xian said as he handed the snakeskin over. This is. DK's pupils constricted. Where did you get it? His voice trembled slightly as if he had seen something terrifying. Someone was spying on us just now and I caught him. That person left behind this snakeskin, but his true body escaped. And this red pill robe should belong to the He family. There's indeed something wrong with them. DK's expression was solemn. I'm going out. In the magnificent hall, the elders had solemn expressions. Old Han, are you sure? Asked President Meng Chuan. Yes, this snakeskin was left behind by the He family, said D. Quebec. We can be sure that they aren't humans. Everyone looked at the scarlet snakeskin and felt their scalps tingle. Thinking back to the competition during the day, their hearts trembled. Could it be that they were competing with a group of monsters during the day? It's better if we confirm it, said President Meng Chuan cautiously. You should know what this snakeskin represents. I'll accompany you, said D. Quebec. Bring Lin Xian along. He was the one who discovered it. The two of them quickly arrived at the Pill Emperor Hall and found Lin Xian. We're going to investigate the He family. President Meng Chuan explained his intentions. If this is true, I'm afraid Sky Mountain Country will be in trouble. Lin Xian nodded. He could sense the seriousness of the situation. The three of them moved and ran towards the He family's residence. Not long after they arrived outside the inn. Conceal your aura, said President Meng Chuan. Lin Xian activated the black cloak, and his entire person seemed to have disappeared. With a tap of his feet, he landed on the roof like a ball of cotton. There seems to be a defensive mechanism, but I can crack it, whispered D. Quebec. Then he waved his sleeve and a mirror appeared in his hand. Circulating his spirit energy, the mirror emitted a faint light. DK aimed it at the room. Soon a series of images appeared on the mirror. How magical? Lin Xian was surprised that the mirror could reproduce the scene in the room. This way they didn't have to use their soul power, nor did they have to worry about being discovered. Inside the room a petite figure was sitting on the ground. A large red robe wrapped around her body. This person should be He Nian. The three of them communicated mentally. She's cultivating. The three of them waited patiently like seasoned hunters. After a long while the image on the mirror changed. The large red robe began to expand as though it was being propped up by something. Rip. The sound of cloth tearing could be heard as the red robe shattered, revealing He Nian's body. At that moment she was no longer petite. Instead she had become very muscular. A thin crack suddenly appeared on her head. The crack grew larger and larger as a ferocious snake head poked out with green mucus. Lin Xian's pupils constricted as he frowned. This was too horrifying. The originally petite He Nian was actually a snake in human skin. A piece of human skin landed on the ground. Behind the ferocious snake head was a body covered in scales. It was similar to a human. What's this? Lin Xian was stunned. He originally thought that it would be a snake-type demon beast, but from the looks of it, that wasn't the case. It's a demon, said Meng Chuan in a deep voice. Demon? Lin Xian was alarmed. Among demon beasts there were higher-level existences. They were known as demons. This was because these demons were no longer in the form of beasts. Instead, they resembled humans in certain areas. For example, although the snake demon below had a snake head, it had a human body. Hiss, my main body is still the most comfortable. I'm suffocating to death by curling up in my small body during the day. The snake demon actually spoke in human language. Her neck was slender and her body was like a snake's. She could easily reach the roof. The snake head stretched out and absorbed the moonlight's powers with all its might. In the shadows, Lin Xian and company had solemn expressions. It was actually a snake demon. This was too shocking. Chapter 348. These demons weren't simple. President Meng Chuan's expression turned ugly. Red skin and black spots. Could it be the Scarlet Black Demons? Scarlet Black Demons? Lin Xian was puzzled. DK fell silent. Could it be related to the Black Dragon sect? Lin Xian asked. That's right. Back when the Black Dragon sect was rampant, the Scarlet Black Demons were their biggest accomplices. I never expected them to appear again. President Meng Chuan sighed. I heard that the southwest border is controlled by the Nether Hall. Now the Scarlet Black Demons have appeared in Heavenly Mountain. Is the Black Dragon sect really going to recover fully? But why are they participating in the Alchemy Monarch tournament? Lin Xian was puzzled. I'm afraid there's only one reason. The pills, said Meng Chuan. The White Dragon Soaring Pill. What? Lin Xian was stunned. They had the same goal. Since it's the Black Dragon sect, we can't let them succeed. Lin Xian snorted coldly and used Dragon Capturing Hand to grab downwards. Bam! A deep voice rang out, reverberating in all directions. President Meng Chuan didn't expect Lin Xian to suddenly attack. However, he was experienced, so he immediately attacked with D. Quebec. Both of them were Spirit Transformation Realm experts and were extremely powerful. They quickly subdued the snake demon. However, several powerful auras came from below. Swoosh! A few figures soared up, emitting violent auras. The person in front was He Ming. What are you doing? He Ming's expression changed drastically when he saw the captured snake demon. As a demon, you actually dare to participate in our competition. You sure are gutsy. DK sneered. He was completely on Lin Xian's side. Since the demons wanted the White Dragon Ascension Pill, they were his enemies. President Meng Chuan sighed. He could only handle this matter carefully. Otherwise, if he angered the demons, Heavenly Mountain wouldn't have an easy time. I can release him, but you have to leave Heavenly Mountain, said Meng Chuan in a deep voice. Old Meng, I believe you know our identities. I'll tell you the truth. We came here for the White Dragon Ascension Pill. What do you think the Inscription Union is? Meng Chuan's expression was gloomy. As the president of the Heavenly Mountain Kingdom, he wasn't someone to be scared of. I know that the Inscription Union will not be so kind, so we have decided to win through the competition. He Ming said in a deep voice, but if you don't even let us participate in the competition, then don't blame us. President Meng Chuan fell silent. He knew how powerful the Scarlet Black Demons were. It was impossible to force them. Sure, but if you lose, you'll have to leave the Tianshan Kingdom. Sure. He Ming smiled. We promise you. Let him go. He didn't expect the other party to agree so readily. He turned his head slightly and looked at D. Quebec. Here you go. DK waved his sleeves and tossed the snake demon over. Let's go. Lin Xian and the other two quickly left. Pill Emperor Hall, Main Hall. Young Master Lin, I'll have to rely on you for tomorrow's competition. Although I don't know why they want the pills, such ancient pills can't fall into their hands. Furthermore, I suspect that their actions are definitely related to the Black Dragon sect. If that's the case, then we should stop them. Otherwise, it will be a disaster for the entire Tianan region. He knew that Lin Xian was the only one who could stop the demons. Senior Meng, don't worry. I'll do my best. Lin Xian nodded in agreement. The Black Dragon sect had taken control of the Xia Kingdom and caused Sword Pool Manor to be sealed in ice. He would never forget this grudge. The next day, Wind Moon Square was bustling with activity again. The previous day's competition had been too exciting. Many people were so excited that they couldn't sleep the entire night. At this moment, they came to watch the competition with dark circles under their eyes. Who do you think will win today? I'm guessing it's Lin Xian. He just broke through yesterday. His strength must have increased greatly. Not necessarily. It might be that mysterious He Nian. I think it's possible for Duan Fei too. After all, the Medicine Emperor Courtyard still has a spirit-grade pill furnace. The surrounding cultivators were all discussing fervently. Soon, the participants from various parties appeared. I won't lose today." After a night of adjustment, Duan Fei had clearly regained his confidence. "Lin, I'll let you know my true strength." In the distance, the He family entered in a low-key manner. Yin looked at Lin Xian in the spectator stance. His eyes were filled with rage. It was Lin Xian who had captured him yesterday and threatened to kill him. As a powerful demon, he couldn't tolerate such humiliation. "After winning the competition, I'll torture you to death bit by bit." Yin's eyes glowed green. Sensing the hostility from all directions, Lin Xian appeared very calm. What he needed to do was to win the competition. Nothing else mattered. "After a night of rest, I believe everyone should have recovered to their peak condition," said President Meng Chuan in a deep voice. "Today's competition will continue very soon. This is the last round of the second round. After this round, we will rank you according to the results of the 3 rounds. This ranking will be added to your team's ranking." After a slight pause, President Meng Chuan continued, "The rules of this competition are a little different. We will not provide pill formulas or herbs. You will have to prepare everything yourself. As long as you hand over the refined pills within the stipulated time, you will be fine. The pill with the highest grade will be the winner of this round." The rules were very simple. The Inscription Alliance only had a time limit. Everything else could be done at will. "Now let the contestants enter." Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Dozens of people quickly rushed onto the stone platform and calmed down to prepare. Lin Xian turned his head and found that Yin in the corner had returned to the appearance of a young girl. However, he felt goosebumps all over his body when he thought of the fact that under this human skin was a snake demon. Under Lin Xian's gaze, Yin sneered. Then he flipped his palm and took out a red pill furnace. It was half a meter tall and blood red in color. There was a ferocious snake on it that looked lifelike. The moment the pill furnace was taken out, it immediately gave off a shocking pressure. It was as if a mountain was pressing down on everyone's hearts. "This is a spirit-grade furnace?" the crowd below exclaimed. It was too shocking. They were still waiting for the Medicine Emperor Courtyard's pill furnace, but they didn't expect that an unknown He family would take out a spirit-grade pill furnace. Damn, Yin's strength is already heaven-defying. Now that he has the help of a spirit-grade pill furnace, he's invincible. It seems like Lin Xian is in danger. Duan Fei sneered and also took out the Crimson Dawn spiritual stove. Spirit energy overflowed, stirring up the wind and clouds. The 2 furnaces appeared, facing each other from afar. The 2 auras clashed in the air, causing the air to rumble. It appeared. The Medicine Emperor Courtyard spirit-grade furnace. What a terrifying aura. It said that spirit-grade pill furnaces can greatly increase the success rate. I wonder if it's true? 2 pill furnaces. I wonder what Lin Xian can take out? Everyone was looking forward to it. Chapter 349. That Grand Hall Master, what kind of pill furnace does Lin Xian have? The elders of the Pill Emperor Hall inquired. DK shook his head, not saying a word. Don't tell me he still wants to concoct pills with his bare hands today? The elders trembled. Even the 3rd and 2nd Hall Masters had curious expressions on their faces. Right now Lin Xian was their hope. Everything about Lin Xian represented the glory of the Pill Emperor Hall. I once wanted to give him a pill furnace but he rejected it. I think he should have his own pill furnace. In the Heavenly Mountain Empire, every alchemist had their own pill furnace. Moreover, they wouldn't change their pill furnaces easily. After all, a pill furnace that had been used for a long time felt better. Everyone stared at the stone platform, their hearts filled with anticipation. "Humph, I want to see what you can take out." Duan Fei touched the Crimson Dawn spiritual stove in front of him as he laughed coldly. In the distance, Yin's eyes flickered with coldness. Lin Xian didn't panic. With a light flick of his finger, a pill furnace appeared in front of him. The crowd impatiently looked over and many of them froze on the spot. In front of Lin Xian there was a pill furnace. However, this pill furnace was too strange. Its entire body was dark yellow without a trace of light, as though it was made of mud. There were even cracks in some places. No matter how one looked at it, it didn't look like a pill furnace. "Ha! I'm going to die from laughter." Duan Fei laughed maniacally. "Lin Xian, this is your pill furnace? As expected, it's very compatible with you." His Crimson Dawn spiritual stove was surrounded by multicolored light, as though it was a divine item. It completely crushed Lin Xian's mud furnace. Even Yin had a look of disdain on his face. If it's only at this level, I'll definitely win this round. Below, the crowd was dumbfounded. Those from the Pill Emperor Hall were stunned. Their minds were blank. DK was also stunned. He thought that Lin Xian would have a good pill furnace, but he didn't expect it to be something so strange. Can this thing be used to concoct pills? DK shook his head repeatedly. Forget it, little friend Lin is incomparably mysterious. The things he takes out are definitely not ordinary. Although DK could not accept it immediately, he still chose to believe in Lin Xian unconditionally. Humph, what do you mean by mysterious? He's just a little bastard who's trying to act mysterious. Song Yunxing sneered. He did not think that Lin Xian could win with the mud pill furnace. Dean Song, we should be more careful around He Nian, Elder Blackheart reminded from the side. He was also disdainful of Lin Xian's mud stove. Didn't this fellow say that he would go all out? President Meng Chuan couldn't sit still any longer. President Meng, it's about time. Can we begin? He Ming asked confidently from afar. All right. President Meng Chuan's expression darkened slightly as he pressed down with both hands. His voice echoed in the square. Instantly, everyone in the Wind Moon Plaza quieted down. I hereby announce the start of the third round. I hope everyone can give it their all. President Meng Chuan announced loudly. He even emphasized the words go all out, as if he was afraid that Lin Xian would be mistaken. As soon as President Meng Chuan finished speaking, the competitors on the stone platform began to get busy. For this round they would take out their best pills and give it their all. Duan Fei waved his sleeves and threw out dozens of herbs, forming an arc in the air. There's actually a stage 6 herb. It looks like the Medicine Sovereign Courtyard is going all out this time. Meng Chuan was somewhat surprised. In the distance, He Nian also took out a stage 6 spirit herb. A rich medicinal fragrance wafted in the air. What a big deal. Lin Xian shrugged and began to prepare the pill he was going to refine. Old Man DK had already provided him with the ingredients for the pill. There were a total of 3 sets and he had prepared them overnight. This was because although the pills Lin Xian had prepared in the past were of good quality, they were still a little low. Now that he had broken through to become a third-grade alchemy inscription master, he could refine higher-grade pills. Furthermore, he had specially requested the recipe for the pill from Wine Lord. The Realgar Ancient Panacea pill was a 4th-grade pill. It could cure hundreds of poisons and strengthen one's muscles and bones. If one entered the forest with a Realgar Ancient Panacea pill, they could easily subdue a stage 5 demon beast. Most importantly, this pill could completely restrain snake-type demon beasts. Even if a 4th-grade alchemy inscription master refined such a pill, the success rate was less than 50%. If an alchemist below the 4th grade refined it, the success rate would be even lower. It wouldn't even be 10%. However, Lin Xian had a robust soul. Furthermore, he had the pill furnace that Wine Lord had specially refined for him. He could give it a try. After taking out the spirit herbs, Lin Xian began to carefully deduce the recipe. This was a 4th-grade pill, so he couldn't be careless. Just as he was deducing the pill formula, a series of exclamations came from the crowd below. Lin Xian also sensed something. He suddenly turned his head, and a surprised expression appeared on his face. This is a combination inscription. He was surprised as his eyes flickered as he looked carefully. In front of Duan Fei, there was a circle of inscriptions that enveloped the crimson afterglow pill furnace, forming a magical combination. Combination inscriptions could greatly increase the efficiency of refining pills. It could be said to be an alchemist's treasure. Looks like I underestimated him. Lin Xian stroked his chin. With the combination inscriptions, Duan Fei's strength would increase greatly. He wouldn't be much weaker than some of the older 3rd-grade alchemy inscriptions. In addition, he had a spirit-grade furnace, so he could almost sweep away ordinary 3rd-grade alchemy inscriptions. It's actually a combination inscription. Looks like the Medicine Emperor Courtyard has put in a lot of effort. Old Man DK was surprised. But the air trembled and a large number of inscriptions appeared around He Nian, forming an unpredictable pattern. It's another combination inscription. He Nian is starting to show his prowess. The crowd below exclaimed. On the spectator stand, He Ming looked at the stone platform with a calm heart. The current situation was great. Other than Duan Fei, who could compete with He Nian in terms of equipment, the others couldn't. Even Lin Xian was far from it. Looks like he's definitely going to win this round. He Ming revealed a sinister smile. In addition to the results of the previous 2 rounds, He Nian will be able to take first place in the second round. Looking at the contestants who were using their trump cards, Lin Xian was slightly surprised. As expected of the Alchemy King competition, everyone had a trump card. However, he wasn't someone to be trifled with. After calming himself down, Lin Xian began to refine the Realgar Ancient Panacea. Combination inscriptions? I have one too. He smiled and flicked his fingers. A series of complicated inscriptions appeared, forming an ancient pattern around him. The moment this set of inscriptions appeared, the spirit energy in the entire square became turbulent. Duan Fei and He Nian's combination inscriptions trembled rapidly and almost disintegrated. Damn it, stabilize it! Duan Fei shouted. He Nian's face was also gloomy. She waved her hand continuously, and her soul power surged out crazily. Finally, she stabilized the inscriptions around her. What happened? The martial artists below were puzzled and all looked up. Look, the inscriptions around Lin Xian. Someone exclaimed. There were countless inscriptions around Lin Xian. At this moment, they were absorbing the spirit energy of heaven and earth and constantly changing their shapes. Chapter 350. Not only were the surrounding cultivators shocked, the elders on the viewing platform were even more shocked. What kind of combination inscription is that? It can actually absorb spiritual energy. Song Yunxing and Elder Blackheart had ugly expressions as they stared fixedly at the sky. Although those from the Pill Emperor Hall didn't understand, Lin Xian's strength made them extremely happy. Meng Chuan looked at the inscription beside Lin Xian and suddenly revealed a shocked expression. Could it be that? President, what is it? The surrounding elders asked. Meng Chuan tapped his finger on his chair as a look of reminiscence appeared on his face. Above the combination inscription, there's another type of inscription called Pill Formation. It can absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, greatly increasing the efficiency of pill concoction. I've seen it once when I was young. I didn't expect to see it again here. President Meng Chuan slowly said. Everyone was shocked. If even the president praised this method, it must be extraordinary. But why would Lin Xian know such a mysterious method? Could it be that he had some special background? Many of the elders glanced at the Pill Emperor Hall, wanting to get some information from them. However, the elders from the Pill Emperor Hall also had looks of shock on their faces. It seemed that they didn't know anything either. On the square, Lin Xian's pill formation created a strange scene, causing the surrounding combination inscriptions to almost collapse. Duan Fei was about to go crazy. He didn't expect Lin Xian to have such a trump card. He Nian's face was also gloomy. So what if he has a pill formation? If his strength is not enough, he still won't be able to concoct a good pill. She no longer cared about Lin Xian and focused on concocting her pill. The others also woke up from their daze and started concocting their own pills. Lin Xian took a deep breath and controlled the pill formation. Using the special pill furnace, he started concocting the Realgar Ancient Spirit Wine. Although he had a strong support, he didn't dare to be careless. After all, this was a 4th-grade pill. The difficulty of concocting such a pill was shocking. Not only that, he only had 3 sets of ingredients. There was no room for failure. As time passed, the elders on the viewing platform gradually saw the pills concocted by the contestants. Duan Fei's concoction is actually a top-tier 3rd-grade pill, the Purple Spirit Pill. This kind of pill is extremely difficult to refine. The success rate of an ordinary 3rd-grade alchemist is very low. Duan Fei must have a high chance of refining this pill. I think it'll be difficult. Although he has a spirit-grade furnace, he hasn't been a 3rd-grade alchemist for long. His foundation isn't enough. Look at Dean Song and the others. They look very confident. Many elders were discussing in low voices. I wonder what kind of pill He Nian refined. Many people looked at the stone platform and were shocked. This technique, it seems to be a grade 4 medicinal pill. 4th rank? That's impossible. That's right. What's her cultivation level? She can actually concoct a 4th-grade medicinal pill? President, take a look. Is He Nian refining a 4th-grade pill? Someone asked. Meng Chuan had long noticed He Nian's actions. At that moment he was frowning. It is indeed a 4th-grade medicinal pill, Profoundine pill. It really is a 4th-grade medicinal pill. The surrounding elders exclaimed. Even Song Yunxing and the others frowned. He Nian's strength far exceeded their imagination. If he could really refine it, he would probably be first. One had to know that a 4th-grade medicinal pill was already a very high grade. It was also considered a precious medicinal pill in Heavenly Mountain. Damn it, I didn't expect this fellow to be so strong. If I had known, I would have killed her with one palm, DK said hatefully. He and President Meng Chuan both knew that He Nian wasn't a 15-year-old child at all. She was a monster who had lived for countless years. Now that he dared to refine a 4th-grade medicinal pill, he definitely had enough confidence. I wonder how Lin Xian will deal with her? DK was worried. President Meng Chuan was also worried. He didn't want the demons to win the competition. He let out a heavy breath and looked at the stone platform again. This time his gaze stopped on Lin Xian. He's almost done. Meng Chuan was surprised. The others were also shocked. They looked at Lin Xian in disbelief. One had to know that the others were only halfway done. It seems that the pill array is indeed powerful. It can actually increase the speed of pill refinement so quickly. Lin Xian controlled the pill furnace with an extremely solemn expression. The final process of pill refinement was very important. Not only did it determine the success, but it also determined the grade of the pill. A pill fragrance floated out of the pill furnace and spread in all directions. Duan Fei's expression was gloomy. He realized from the pill fragrance that Lin Xian's pill was of a higher grade than his. If he let Lin Xian finish first, then he would lose a lot of face. On the other hand, He Nian sneered after smelling the fragrance. It's just second-rate goods. It seems like I'll definitely win this time. Meng Chuan and the others were also shocked when they sensed the pill fragrance. This aura seems to be a 4th-grade medicinal pill. Lin Xian actually refined a grade 4 medicinal pill. Cries of surprise rang out as the surrounding cultivators were startled, their faces revealing looks of shock. This fellow is too crazy. He's only a 3rd-grade pill inscription master, but he actually refined a 4th-grade medicinal pill. As expected of a peerless genius. Everyone praised, but Lin Xian's expression was slightly gloomy. He was not satisfied with the grade of the pill refinement this time. Although a 4th-grade medicinal pill was amazing, it was still not enough to win against He Nian. He knew that his opponent was definitely a terrifying pill inscription master. It seems that I can only increase the grade. Lin Xian's palms moved quickly. He controlled the pill array with all his strength and crazily absorbed the spiritual energy in the world. This fellow is too reckless. President Meng Chuan stood up in shock. He naturally knew Lin Xian's intentions. However, such a crude method of increasing the grade of the pill was very likely to fail. This was a competition and time was limited. Every failure would have a profound impact on the final result. Moreover, the grade of a 4th-grade medicinal pill was not so easy to increase. Lin Xian's actions caused everyone to tense up, especially those from the Medicine Emperor courtyard and He clan. Their gazes were fixed on Lin Xian. The spiritual energy in the air vibrated and surged into the pill furnace, constantly fusing with the medicinal pill. Suddenly, the mud pill furnace trembled slightly, followed by a low sound. Bang! Although the sound was weak, it was still heard by the crowd. Failed. He really failed. The Medicine Emperor courtyard's elder laughed loudly, his face full of schadenfreude. He families He Ming also sneered. He actually wanted to increase the grade of a 4th-grade medicinal pill. How naive. The others let out a deep sigh of regret. What a pity. That's a 4th-grade medicinal pill. Even if the grade is not increased, it can still suppress the crowd. Yeah, he's too impatient. I hope he won't be affected by the mood of failure. Many people felt sorry for Lin Xian. Seeing Lin Xian fail, Duan Fei immediately became happy. Firstly, there was not much time left in the competition. Secondly, the mood of failure would definitely affect Lin Xian. Let's see what you can do next. Chapter 351. Lin Xian's failure caused an uproar, but he fell into deep thought. The difficulty of refining a 4th-grade pill was beyond his imagination. It was already very heaven-defying to be able to forge it. If he wanted to raise its grade, it would be impossible. Just as everyone was discussing Lin Xian's failure, a pill fragrance wafted out from the stone platform. Although this fragrance was much weaker than Lin Xian's, it was still not ordinary. This fragrance attracted everyone's attention. It's Song Qianqian from the Medicine Emperor courtyard. The smell, could it be a 3rd-grade pill? Several elders' eyes flickered as they carefully identified it. Soon they raised their heads. It's indeed a 3rd-grade pill. Everyone was shocked and looked at the stone platform with disbelief. Not bad, a 2nd-grade pill inscription master can actually refine a 3rd-grade pill. He's indeed a genius. Haha, Miss Qianqian is amazing. The people from the Medicine Emperor courtyard cheered. On the stone platform, Song Qianqian's face was red and her eyes were filled with pride. In front of her was a bronze pill furnace. Although it was not as good as the Scarlet Dawn spiritual stove, it was not ordinary either. She relied on this pill furnace to refine a third-grade pill. The fragrance continued to spread, but at this time, another pill fragrance wafted out. The intensity of this fragrance was even better than Song Qianqian's. Another third-grade pill. Everyone exclaimed. It's a high-grade third-grade pill. Many elders were shocked. Even they had a high chance of failure when refining such a pill. But now there was actually a youngster who had succeeded. It's Duan Fei, someone from the Medicine Emperor Courtyard. There are actually 2 disciples from the Medicine Emperor Courtyard who have refined third-grade pills. It seems like they have a high chance of winning this time. Song Yunxing's expression was very good. He clapped his hands and laughed with a victorious expression. As long as the 2 of them finished refining their pills, he would have an absolute advantage. Elder Blackheart's eyes flickered. The only thing he was worried about was He Nian. If He Nian refined a 4th-grade pill, there would be a lot of trouble. As for Lin Xian, he had completely ignored him. Duan Fei's expression was arrogant as he continuously slapped the pill furnace to complete the last step. Qianqian, let me win this time, Duan Fei said to Song Qianqian with a smile. As a third-grade pill inscription master, he could tell the difference between the 2 pills just by looking at the pill fragrance. Okay. Song Qianqian nodded. Duan Fei was a disciple of her Medicine Sovereign Courtyard. She was naturally happy that Duan Fei could emerge victorious. Kiki, isn't it a little too early to be complacent? A discordant voice sounded. With me here, don't even think about winning. He Nian sneered. Duan Fei and Song Qianqian's expressions changed slightly. They turned back and looked at He Nian in the corner. Suddenly, a pill fragrance wafted out from He Nian's pill furnace, transforming into a smoke snake in the air. Pill fragrance condensation. Looking at the smoke serpent, some extremely powerful alchemy grandmasters cried out in alarm. Duan Fei and Song Qianqian's expressions also became extremely ugly. Pill fragrance condensation? What do you mean? The surrounding cultivators were puzzled and looked up at the sky curiously. In the spectator stands, President Meng Chuan's face was gloomy. He frowned and muttered to himself, pill fragrance condensation is something only 4th grade and above pills possess. Furthermore, it's a special pill. That He Nian can condense the pill fragrance. It's obvious that the pill he refined isn't of a low grade. Duan Fei and Song Qianqian's pills are nothing in front of He Nian. Are they really going to lose this time? President Meng Chuan wasn't the only one who was shocked. The people from Medicine Emperor Hall and Pill Emperor Hall also had ugly expressions. Elder Blackheart clenched his walking stick tightly. These damned monsters, they actually have the ability to condense the pill fragrance. It seems like the other party is well prepared. DK sighed. Little friend Lin, we can only rely on you now. When the others learned of the pill fragrance condensation, they were all in an uproar. A 4th grade pill and an extremely special one at that. If nothing unexpected happened, the final champion would probably be He Nian. Duan Fei and Song Qianqian's faces were ashen, as if they had lost their souls. Pill fragrance condensation was a technique only her father, Song Yunxing, knew. Now it was actually used by a 15-year-old girl. This blow was too great for them. Looking at the pills in the cauldron, the 2 of them felt like crying but had no tears. Haha, I'll be the champion this time. He Nian's voice rang out. The crowd was in an uproar. They didn't expect such an ending. Could it be that the Pill Emperor Hall and Medicine Emperor Hall were really going to lose? That might not be the case. A voice that could sever nails and sever iron rang out. Who is it? The expressions of the He clan members changed slightly as they looked at the stone platform in anger. Even He Nian turned his head to look. Lin Xian, it's Lin Xian. Everyone exclaimed. With just you? You're just a piece of trash who failed in pill refinement. He Nian was extremely disdainful. It's normal to fail in pill refinement. If you can't even accept this, then what's the point of refining pills? You might as well sell tofu. Lin Xian's face regained its calmness. Clearly he had already walked out from his previous failure. I'll be the champion this time. Lin Xian's voice was filled with confidence. It was as sharp as a sword, slicing through the sky. Looking at the confident Lin Xian, the disciples of the Pill Emperor Hall all cheered. DK and President Meng Chuan also revealed smiles. It's good that you've recovered. There's still time, there's still hope. Duan Fei and Song Qianqian also stared at Lin Xian in a daze. For some reason, the 2 of them felt as though they were facing a giant. Stop bragging. You haven't even finished half the time. Do you think a 4th grade pill is so easy to concoct? He Nian sneered. Accept the truth, despicable human. Lin Xian ignored He Nian and stood up abruptly. He kept the clay cauldron. His robes fluttered even though there was no wind. Inscriptions continuously appeared in his eyes. Keeping the cauldron? You want to concoct pills with your bare hands again? How naive. He Nian sneered. The others also stared at Lin Xian in a daze. They didn't know what he was planning to do. Brat, you finally thought it through. Within the mysterious small sword, Wine Lord chuckled as he muttered to himself. Lin Xian waved his sleeves and inscribed lines of elixir patterns around him, forming a peculiar elixir formation. Instantly, the translucent pill formation enveloped the stone platform he was on. His fingers moved and the medicinal herbs were quickly disintegrated. They then floated above the pill formation. The entire process was very fast. It was like moving clouds and flowing water. There wasn't the slightest pause. At this moment, Lin Xian had already let go of everything. He was like the reincarnation of the Pill Emperor, calmly facing everything. This kind of technique, this kind of courage, it's definitely rare in the world. President Meng Chuan praised. I really don't know what kind of expert could teach such a disciple. The other alchemists were also stunned. Lin Xian's alchemy technique was too shocking. It completely overturned their understanding. It can actually be refined like this? The third hall master swallowed his saliva. He actually used spiritual energy to disintegrate the medicinal herbs. Chapter 352. Even He Nian's expression was solemn and he didn't say a word. The current Lin Xian was like a completely different person from before. Furthermore, using a pill array to refine pills had truly shocked him. Humph, this pill array obviously requires an extremely large amount of soul energy. I don't believe you can withstand it. He Nian gritted his teeth. So what if you can refine it? My pill has already condensed into a pill shape. He Nian had absolute confidence in his pill. Not to mention Lin Xian, even some grade 4 pill inscriptionists couldn't compare to him. Thinking of this, he crazily poured out his soul energy. The pill furnace in front of He Nian trembled and an even stronger pill fragrance drifted out. Condense. With a low shout, He Nian continuously sent out inscriptions into the pill furnace. Whoosh. A dark green pill trembled as it flew out of the pill furnace and floated in mid-air. The pill is complete. He Nian laughed loudly. He held the dark green pill in his hand and his face was filled with pride. Above the pill there was a blurry image of an ink snake. He actually succeeded. Duan Fei and Song Chanshan looked at the arrogant He Nian and felt their limbs turn cold. We lost, completely lost. The two of them were powerless. Both of their pills were grade 3 and they couldn't be compared to He Nian's pill. President Meng Chuan and the others also shook their heads and sighed. In the current situation no one could beat He Nian. Unless Lin Xian could refine a better pill. The disciples of the Pill Emperor Hall were silent. They all looked at Lin Xian. On the stone platform, Lin Xian's expression was solemn. His pill had reached a critical moment. Previously, in the late stage of pill formation he chose to raise the quality of his pill but failed. This time he planned to start fusing the spiritual energy in the middle stage and raise the grade. The pill array around him revolved and began to absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. Although he was doing his best to refine the pill, he was still aware of what was happening outside. He could sense the grade of He Nian's pill. It was a mid-grade grade 4 pill. But with the pill fragrance, its effect was comparable to a high-grade grade 4 pill. Unless he could refine a high-grade grade 4 pill, he wouldn't have a chance. A superior 4th grade pill. Lin Xian took a deep breath, and the inscriptions in his eyes became even more solid. If it was in the past he wouldn't even dare to think about it. But now that he had the pill array he had a chance. He carefully controlled the pill array and slowly raised its level. Lin Xian's face paled as the soul force in his mind rapidly decreased. Within the pill array, a medicinal fragrance wafted out. It was abnormally rich. It appeared. Everyone was excited. Humph, it's still not enough. He Nian sneered in his heart when he sensed the pill fragrance. His pills were comparable to high-grade level 4 pills, while Lin Xian's pills were only close to mid-grade level 4 pills. The pill formation continued to revolve. Lin Xian felt a wave of dizziness. The great dragon sword will in his body rumbled and emitted a sharp aura, allowing him to maintain his consciousness. On the mysterious dagger, the image of the giant dragon shone brightly. Lin Xian felt an indescribable power coming from the dagger, nourishing his soul. Pill array, gather spiritual energy, condense. Lin Xian's eyes flashed with madness as he poured all his soul force into the pill array. Bus. The translucent pill array emitted a bright light, like a huge whirlpool, crazily absorbing the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. And within the pill array was the pill that Lin Xian concocted. This scene was too shocking, causing everyone to cry out in shock. Impossible, how can he have such a strong soul force? He Nian screamed. This soul force had already surpassed her. One must know that she, a demon race alchemist, had tens of years of cultivation in the aspect of soul force. But Lin Xian was only an 18-year-old youth, and yet his soul force had already surpassed hers. This was a true monstrous genius. Under the shocked gazes of the crowd, all the spiritual energy was absorbed into the pill in the center of the pill array. Bang bang. In the next instant, the pill array emitted a strange medicinal fragrance and a purplish gold color. The moment this pill appeared, the illusory snake image on the pill concocted by He Nian was instantly crushed. Wah! Everyone was in an uproar, especially the disciples of Pill Emperor Hall. They were all shouting. This was too shocking. One must know that He Nian's pill was extremely rare. This could be seen from the words of the previous alchemists. But Lin Xian's pill actually caused the pill concocted by He Nian's pill to dissipate. What did this mean? Lin Xian's pill far surpassed He Nian's. Impossible, my pill is comparable to a superior 4th grade pill. Unless it's a 5th grade pill, there's nothing that can make its pill concocted. He Nian screamed crazily. She was stunned, this scene was completely out of her expectations. On the spectator stands, Meng Chuan, DK and the others laughed heartily. Lin Xian's counterattack at the last moment directly shattered the demon race's dream of becoming the champion, preventing their Heavenly Mountain Empire's champion from falling into the hands of the demon race. He Ming's face darkened and his eyes were filled with killing intent. This guy, what did he refine? On the stone platform He Nian went crazy. I don't believe it, I don't believe you can refine a pill that far surpasses mine. With that said, she charged towards Lin Xian. In the sky, a red phantom rushed towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian had just finished refining the pill, and his soul force was completely depleted. He was in a daze. However, his instincts as a warrior were still there. In the face of He Nian's attack, he only did one thing. Grabbing the purplish gold pill in front of him, Lin Xian placed it in front of him. The pill emitted a purplish gold light, and a thick sound rang out. Bam! He Nian was extremely fast. In the blink of an eye, she arrived in front of Lin Xian. How dare you? DK was enraged. The others also exclaimed. Haha, die. He Nian slammed her palm down. However, when her hand came into contact with the purplish gold light, her expression changed drastically. This is, He Nian screamed. Her palm was festering, and her human skin had disappeared, revealing red scales. Realgar, it's Realgar. He Nian screamed and retreated frantically. You're actually concocting Realgar-type pills? Damn it. Realgar was the nemesis of snakes. Now that Lin Xian had refined it into a superior 4th grade pill, its power was even greater. Just a beam of light injured He Nian. Not good. He Ming's expression changed drastically. He leaped into the air and arrived beside He Nian. What happened? Why do I see red scales? The warriors below exclaimed. Duan Fei and Song Chanshan were even more shocked. Damn it. He Ming looked at Lin Xian, his eyes filled with killing intent. DK snorted coldly, his body emitting a powerful aura. Beside him, President Meng Chuan also said in a deep voice, He Ming, you have already lost. Leave quickly. This matter won't end like this. He Ming gritted his teeth and said. He glared at Lin Xian before leaving with He Nian. The other He family disciples also left quickly. Clang, clang, clang. Chapter 353. The crowd was in an uproar as they stared at the stone platform. Everyone, I believe I don't need to say who the champion of the second round is, right? President Meng Chuan said with a smile. Lin Xian. Lin Xian. The entire square was filled with cheers and shouts. Their voices were like the waves of the sea, crashing in all directions. The faces of those from the Medicine Emperor courtyard darkened. Although they were unwilling, they had no choice but to admit that Lin Xian had exceeded their expectations. Too amazing. Sigh, we lost. Song Yunxing sighed as he leaned weakly against the back of his chair. Elder Blackheart, who was standing beside him, gritted his teeth. His eyes were filled with unwillingness. Lin Xian, it's Lin Xian again. From the start of the first round, this mysterious youth had been ruining his plans. Now the Pill Emperor Hall had already won 2 rounds. The champion of the Pill King tournament was about to be theirs. No, we can't let them get the White Dragon Ascension pill. Elder Blackheart's eyes flashed with killing intent. After the competition ended, the participants returned to the stands. Lin Xian and the rest rested, but the surrounding cultivators didn't leave. Because the next round was the most exciting one, the Battle of the Titans. This was the third round of the Pill King tournament. At that time, the true Pill King faction would be decided. Lin Xian drank a cup of spirit wine. Under the protection of DK, he recovered most of his soul force. Only then did he heave a sigh of relief. Next is the last round. Lin Xian said slowly. Senior, what are your thoughts? I've thought it through. I'll refine the white flower marrow cleansing pill you gave me. DK smiled. This is an ancient 4th grade pill, its value is even higher than a 5th grade pill. Then I wish you success, Lin Xian said with a smile. Don't worry, little friend Lin, this old man is still confident. An hour later, President Meng Chuan stood up again. I believe everyone has rested enough. Next, we'll move on to the last round, the Battle of the Titans. The rules are the same as the last round of the second stage. Whoever can refine the best grade medicinal pill in the allotted time will be the winner. Let's begin. President Meng Chuan said with a smile. Now that the demon's matter had been resolved, he was relieved. Now, as long as he could successfully complete the last round, this year's Pill King tournament would be considered a success. Let's go, the final battle. Song Yunxing's eyes flashed with a sharp light. His entire body emitted a terrifying aura as he arrived on the stone platform. After him, the other forces also sent out their strongest alchemists. However, compared to Song Yunxing, he was clearly lacking. In the entire Tianshan kingdom, the only one who could go against Song Yunxing was the old man Deke. In the next instant, the gazes of everyone shifted onto the Pill Emperor Hall. Should I go? The third palace master was eager to give it a try. Lin Xian's performance in the previous few stages was too stunning, and he was someone invited by the head palace master. Right now, over 60% of the people in the Pill Emperor Hall were biased towards the Pill Emperor Hall. This caused him to be extremely unhappy. Originally, he had used some methods to bribe many elders over the years. In addition to the fact that the Pill Emperor Hall was often ignored by the first palace master, he was able to control the Pill Emperor Hall for a period of time. However, he felt that the Pill Emperor Hall was already somewhat out of his control. If he could display his strength in the third round, he might be able to rope in some elders. At that time, he would be able to continue contending against the first palace master. No need. Deke said in a low voice. This time, I will go personally. Personally? The crowd from the Pill Emperor Hall was in an uproar. How many years has it been since the first palace master concocted pills in front of others? For such a small matter, let third palace master do it. The second palace master said from the side. There's no need to trouble you. This isn't a small matter. We cannot lose this battle. Deke's eyes flashed with a shocking light as a powerful aura gushed out from his body. Under the gazes of the crowd, he slowly stood up. What? Everyone was stunned. Following which, countless cries of surprise rang out. Wasn't Deke crippled? How can he stand up again? Heavens, the first palace master has actually recovered. The Pill Emperor Hall can finally shine again. Elder Jean laughed towards the sky. President Meng Chuan was also shocked. He knew that Deke had been poisoned by a strange poison. This poison was something that even a 5th grade pill inscription master like him couldn't do anything about. But now Deke had actually recovered. How could he not be shocked? Could it be because of him? President Meng Chuan looked towards Lin Xian. How is this possible? The third palace master's eyes widened as cold sweat dripped down his forehead. When did he recover? The second palace master was also nervous. Old man DK's performance stunned everyone. On the stone platform, Song Yunxing looked down with an incomparably solemn expression. Ah, feels so good to be able to walk. Deke laughed loudly. From today onwards he would no longer use a wheelchair. This time he didn't fly. Instead, he walked step by step towards the stone platform. It was no wonder that Deke was so excited. He hadn't walked for decades. This feeling of being on solid ground was too amazing. So what if I've recovered? I won't lose to you. Song Yunxing snorted coldly. He had a spirit-grade furnace and the pill formula that Elder Blackheart had given him. Even if he was facing Meng Chuan, he was confident, let alone Deke. With a wave of his sleeve, the Crimson Dawn spiritual stove appeared in mid-air, emitting a dazzling light. Half the sky was dyed red. This spirit-grade furnace could only unleash its true power in his hands. Ah. Dean Song, when I was dominating the Heavenly Mountain Kingdom, I'm afraid you were still learning inscription. Deke laughed loudly. With a flip of his palm, a black pill furnace appeared in mid-air. Pill King Furnace. Everyone was shocked as they looked at the black pill furnace in the sky with envy. The Pill King Furnace was the reward of the previous Pill King tournament. It was also a spirit-grade furnace, and its grade was even higher than the Crimson Dawn spiritual stove. With this furnace, Deke was not inferior to Song Yunxing in terms of support. As for the pill formula, he had the ancient pill formula. Looking at the Pill King Furnace, Song Yunxing's face was gloomy. He snorted coldly and began to refine pills. Deke grinned and began to refine pills as well. Below, everyone was shocked when they saw the black pill furnace floating in the sky. The elders of the Pill Emperor Hall were shouting crazily. Only a few elders were still standing beside the two hall masters. Everyone else was cheering for Old Man DK at this moment. Not far away, Elder Blackheart's expression was solemn. Although he had given Dean Song a precious pill formula, Deke was not to be trifled with. Moreover, his aura today was even more powerful than before, making him extremely confident. In this state, the success rate of refining pills would greatly increase. Chapter 354. On the square, Song Yunxing and DK made their moves one after another, dyeing the entire sky red. Everyone looked up, not wanting to miss any details. Such a level of competition could only be seen at the Alchemy King tournament. Usually, it was very rare to see a fourth-grade alchemist refining pills. The Crimson Dawn spiritual stove was fiery red like a ball of fire burning in the air. On the other side, the Alchemy King furnace emitted a terrifying aura that suppressed the surroundings. The two of them were grandmasters in the alchemy world. Their alchemy process far exceeded that of others. Lin Xian raised his head to watch as well, constantly observing and learning. Song Yunxing is actually... The elders beside him were bewildered. Lin Xian tilted his head and saw that Elder Jean and the others had ugly expressions. What's wrong? He asked. Song Yunxing seems to be refining a fifth-grade pill? Elder Jean said. The Medicine Emperor Court is really ambitious. The second palace master said in a deep voice. A fifth-grade pill? Lin Xian was surprised. There weren't many such pills in the Heavenly Mountain Empire. The success rate of refining a fifth-grade pill was very low. Furthermore, fifth-grade alchemists were even rarer. There was only one fifth-grade alchemist in the entire Heavenly Mountain Empire, and that was President Meng Chuan. Even President Meng Chuan had a 50% failure rate when refining a fifth-grade pill. Not to mention a fourth-grade alchemist like Song Yunxing. It seems like the Medicine Emperor Court is really desperate. Otherwise they wouldn't take such a risk. Indeed, I think Dean Song only has a 20% success rate at most. Everyone guessed, but Elder Blackheart was abnormally calm. Song Yunxing's choice of a fifth-grade pill wasn't a spur-of-the-moment decision. He had prepared it for a long time. In the end, he maintained a success rate of about 40% before daring to use it in the competition. This success rate was already very shocking. It even surpassed many fifth-grade alchemists. On the stone platform, DK clearly sensed Song Yunxing's intentions. He was surprised, but he didn't have too many concerns. He had the ancient pill formula, so he could definitely win. Time passed slowly. None of the contestants on the stone platform failed. This also meant that these alchemists were far from being comparable to those young alchemists. Gradually, pill fragrance wafted out of the square. Some people even condensed pills. However, DK and Song Yunxing were still refining. Boom, boom, boom. The Scarlet Cloud spiritual stove let out a rumbling sound, filling the sky with multicolored light, and a thick pill fragrance spread out. Did he succeed? Everyone was expectant. This was a fifth-grade medicinal pill. Above the Scarlet Cloud spiritual stove, a lotus-shaped illusion appeared, and even a blue smoke appeared. It's appeared? The pill fragrance has taken form. Someone cried out in alarm. That's nothing. Didn't you see the green smoke? That's a colored pill fragrance. Only a fifth-grade pill would have that. There was a wave of exclamations below. The pills that Song Yunxing refined had produced many kinds of strange phenomena, and all the competitors from the four sides were inferior. That's great. Daddy has mastered it. Song Chanchan was overjoyed. Success on the first try. The headmaster's strength is too powerful. I'm afraid he's about to break through to the fifth grade. The elders of the Medicine Emperor Courtyard were abnormally excited. Even Elder Blackheart's face was full of smiles. Success on the first try had already exceeded his expectations. On the stone platform, Song Yunxing put the pills into a bottle and heaved a sigh of relief. His hands were full of sweat and the back of his shirt was also soaked. Just now, he had used 120% of his strength and a trace of luck to refine a 5th-grade medicinal pill, the spirit-cleansing poison-dissolving pill. A 5th-grade medicinal pill. Old geezer DK, let's see what you have to compete with me. Song Yunxing turned his head and looked over. What kind of medicinal pill is this? When he saw Old Man DK's pill furnace, he was stunned. Judging from the aura, it wasn't a 5th-grade medicinal pill, but the pill fragrance was very strange. It was filled with many kinds of fragrances and when combined together, it wasn't inferior to his. The crowd below also noticed this phenomenon, and immediately started discussing again. What kind of medicinal pill did the first hall master refine? The elders of the Pill Emperor Hall were puzzled. The 2 hall masters shook their heads in confusion. Recently, DK had been too mysterious. They couldn't find any useful information. President Meng Chuan looked at the sky and revealed a look of astonishment. This old geezer, where did he get such an exquisite pill recipe? Although it's not a 5th-grade medicinal pill, its effect isn't much weaker than a 5th-grade medicinal pill. I originally thought that Song Yunxing would win this time, but now it seems that old geezer DK has a high chance of winning. On the stone platform, Song Yunxing's face sank. Although he was confident in his medicinal pill, the pill fragrance made him more and more flustered. Buzz. The Pill Emperor furnace trembled and a red pill fragrance floated out, rolling in the sky. It's here, there's a colored pill fragrance. Everyone became nervous and they were all looking forward to it. The red pill fragrance changed in the air, forming the shape of a peony. Pill fragrance condensed into form. The corners of Song Yunxing's mouth gradually curled up. If that was the case, then he would definitely win. He had the colored pill fragrance and he also had the pill shape. Furthermore, the grade of his medicinal pill was much higher than DK's. No matter how one looked at it, he would win. However, just as he was feeling proud, the red pill fragrance changed again. After the peony phantom, another flower shape appeared. 2 flowers. Everyone exclaimed. However, before they could react, another flower appeared in the sky. 3 flower shadows. The cultivators in the square were in an uproar. They had never seen such a spectacle before. They had never even heard of it. Impossible, what kind of medicinal pill is this? It can actually condense 3 flower shadows? Song Yunxing's face was as black as a pot. 3 flower shadows. Could it be an ancient pill recipe? Elder Blackheart's voice was cold. Black chi rolled around his body, bringing with it a cold aura, like an invisible black hole. Lost again. Even if he took out the pill recipe he obtained from a 4-star sect, he still lost. Ancient pill recipe, it's actually an ancient pill recipe. How can the Pill Emperor Hall have such a thing? He couldn't understand. Even a 4-star sect might not necessarily have an ancient pill recipe. President Meng Chuan looked at the 3 flower shadows in a daze. Old geezer DK not only cured his leg poison, he even has an ancient pill recipe. Could it be that he found an ancient ruin? No, he has been in the Pill Emperor Valley all these years. Could it be Lin Xian? President Meng Chuan was shocked by this thought. Dean Song, do you still want to compete? Old geezer DK asked with a smile. Right now, he was even more grateful for Lin Xian's kindness. If it wasn't for Lin Xian's pill recipe, he wouldn't have been able to win the competition. Little friend Lin is indeed my benefactor in life. You've won. Song Yunxing said with great difficulty. It wasn't that he didn't want to fight back, but the 3 flower shadows were too mysterious. If he continued to quibble, he would become a joke. It didn't matter if he lost the competition, but if he lost face, then he wouldn't be able to face anyone in the future. Song Yunxing's face turned black. He flung his sleeves and walked towards the stage. Chapter 355. The result of the 3rd round is the Pill Emperor Hall's victory. The Pill Emperor Hall has won all 3 rounds and is the champion of this year's competition. President Meng Chuan announced. The crowd below cheered. The disciples of the Pill Emperor Hall even raised their arms and cheered. In the entire square, waves after waves of cheers rose, pushing the atmosphere to the extreme. The disciples of the Medicine Emperor Hall had faces full of disappointment. They had failed once again. They had lost all 3 rounds. Such a situation had never happened before. Elder Blackheart's face sank, his eyes filled with killing intent. He had spent a great deal of effort to support the Medicine Emperor Hall. He thought that he would be able to win easily, but he didn't expect such a result. On the other side, the Inscription Alliance started to give out the rewards. Other than the title of Pill Emperor, there was also an ancient 5th-grade pill, the White Dragon Soaring Heaven pill. Lin Xian's expression was filled with excitement. After working so hard for so many days, he finally won this crucial pill. DK smiled as he received the pill bottle from President Meng Chuan, preparing to leave. Hold on. Suddenly a voice rang out like thunder. Everyone was shocked as they turned their heads. Those from the Pill Emperor Hall were also puzzled. DK's face sank. From the tone of his voice, it seemed that he didn't come with good intentions. Elder Blackheart slowly stood up and spoke to DK in a low voice. Grand Hall Master, I wonder if we can make a deal? A deal? Everyone was puzzled, but Song Yunxing furrowed his brows. He naturally knew what kind of deal Elder Blackheart wanted to make. This was also something he had promised Elder Blackheart. DK asked in a low voice, what kind of deal? I want to exchange the White Dragon Soaring Heaven pill with you. Whatever you want, just say it. I won't bargain. Elder Blackheart hurriedly said. Although this pill is a 5th-grade pill, its effects are somewhat obscure. I think the Grand Hall Master has no use for it. Why don't we make a deal? What do you want? Other 5th-grade pills, spirit-grade treasures, high-grade martial arts, high-grade pill recipes. As long as you say it, I can do it all. The surrounding cultivators exclaimed. Elder Blackheart's offer was incomparably tempting. It was definitely not inferior to the White Dragon Soaring Heaven pill. The elders of the Pill Emperor Hall were also excited. They indeed had no use for the White Dragon Soaring Heaven pill. If they could exchange it for some top-grade pill recipes, that would be the best. However, DK shook his head firmly. There's no need. I won't exchange this pill. Whoosh! The surroundings were in an uproar. There was actually someone who could refuse those treasures. Elder Blackheart frowned. Could it be that the first Hall Master is still not satisfied with these? Why don't we do this? No need. I won't trade with you no matter what price you offer. Goodbye. With that, DK returned to Lin Xian and the others and left the Wind Moon Plaza together. What was left behind was a group of shocked people and the black-hearted elder whose face had turned black. Pill Emperor Hall. Lin Xian returned to his room and closed the doors and windows. With a flip of his hand, he took out a white jade bottle. He opened the bottle cap and poured out a pill the size of a longan fruit. It was sparkling and translucent like white jade. The White Dragon Ascension pill is finally in my hands. Lin Xian was overjoyed. The first step has been completed. The next step is to find the true dragon aura, Wine Lord said. True dragon chi? Lin Xian put away the pill bottle and muttered, what exactly does it mean? Great Earth Dragon Veins. Wine Lord slowly said. Under the earth, there are places where dragon veins will form and contain a mysterious power. And the aura emitted from them is the true dragon aura. Great Earth Dragon Veins? Lin Xian rubbed his chin. He had heard of such things before. They were extremely important and related to the fate of an area. How do I find them? As long as it is a powerful place, there will usually be dragon veins. Try to go to these places, Wine Lord said. Powerful places were usually sects or countries. Sects usually wouldn't allow outsiders to enter, so he could only go to a powerful country. Lin Xian had a target. However, this country had to be stronger than the Heavenly Mountain Empire because Wine Lord couldn't sense the aura of dragon veins in the Heavenly Mountain Empire. It's time to leave. Lin Xian took a deep breath and began to meditate. Medicine Emperor Hall, Great Hall. Hall Master, I found out that Old Man DK gave the pill to Lin Xian. Lin Xian? Song Yunxing was slightly surprised. Elder Heixin frowned. Are you sure? Song Yunxing looked at the elder and asked. Yes, and this matter seemed to have been decided before the Pill King competition. At that time, the other 2 Hall Masters were against it, but Old Man DK insisted. All right, you can leave. Song Yunxing waved his hand and looked at Elder Heixin. It's not good for us to take action. Don't worry, you don't have to do it. I have my ways. Elder Heixin sneered. Since the item is in Lin Xian's hands, then it's easy. Although he was afraid of Old Man DK, if his opponent was Lin Xian, he was confident that he could kill him. The White Dragon Soaring pill will definitely be mine. The next day, Lin Xian found Old Man D. Quebec. I wonder if there is a country stronger than the Tianshan Kingdom. Lin Xian asked. Are you leaving? Old Man DK was surprised. Seeing Lin Xian nod, he sighed. I knew it, Sky Mountain can't keep you here. After saying that, he sighed heavily. In the Tianan region, countries are divided into small countries, large countries and strong countries. Sky Mountain is a large country, but its standard is in the middle. There are many countries stronger than Sky Mountain. Above that, there are strong countries. Large countries? Strong countries? Lin Xian had a deeper understanding of this world. I have a map of the Tianan region. It's very detailed and I'll give it to you now. Lin Xian took the scroll and quickly opened it. His pupils shrank, revealing a look of surprise. The Tianan region was bigger than he imagined. Sky Mountain was only half the size of a palm. Xia country was even smaller, located in a remote area in the southwest. If one didn't pay attention, they wouldn't be able to find it. And this was only the Tianan region. There were other regions outside of this. At least, Lin Xian knew about the Sky Martial region. It seems that this world is more interesting than I imagined. Lin Xian looked at the map carefully. I wonder which place has the strongest dragon vein? Dragon vein? You want to find a dragon vein? Old Man DK was surprised. Yes. Lin Xian nodded. Even if the matter of finding a dragon vein was exposed, no one would know that he was looking for the great dragon sword. Moreover, Old Man DK was very knowledgeable, so he might know something. If you want to talk about the largest dragon vein, it should be the ancient dragon sacred ground. It contains the mysterious true dragon chi. True dragon chi. Lin Xian was happy. This was what he was looking for. Where is the ancient dragon sacred ground? Lin Xian looked at the map. You don't know? Old Man DK explained. The ancient dragon sacred ground is the location of the sacred true dragon gathering. It's very famous in the Tianan region. Sacred True Dragon Gathering? Lin Xian really didn't know. The Sacred True Dragon Gathering is held once every 10 years. It's a grand event in the Tianan region. Chapter 356. The True Dragon ranking was a very famous ranking in the Tianan region. Its ranking was based on the rankings of the True Dragon Gathering. It could be said that entering the True Dragon ranking was the wish of every warrior, because it not only represented strength but also honor. One had to know that there were many warriors in the Tianan region, and there were also many geniuses, but only 72 of them could enter the ranking. Those who entered the True Dragon ranking were all geniuses among geniuses. What are the restrictions for entering the True Dragon Gathering? Lin Xian asked. The most basic restriction is that you can't be over 40 years old and your cultivation must be above the harmonious spirit realm. Old Man DK said. But even if you meet these two conditions, you might not be able to participate. The number of participants is fixed, a total of 720 people. This number is not enough in the entire Tianan region. Take the Heavenly Mountain country for example, there are only 3 spots, and the competition is very intense. Lin Xian took a deep breath. It seemed like this True Dragon Gathering was stricter than he thought. The great Heavenly Mountain country only had 3 spots. One had to know that in the Heavenly Mountain country, there were no less than 10 3-star sects, and there were countless geniuses within. Other than that, there were also the royal family and some super families. With so many people fighting for 3 spots, one could imagine how intense it would be. Does that mean I don't even have the chance to register? Lin Xian frowned. Little friend Lin, don't worry. There is still a year before the True Dragon Gathering begins. I think this time is enough for you to break through. As for the spots, I can recommend you, but whether or not you can seize the opportunity will depend on you. Old Man DK said slowly. Really? Lin Xian's eyes flashed. As long as there was a chance, he would not give up. I have 2 choices. One is to compete for the spots in the Heavenly Mountain country. Although there are only 3 spots, it's not impossible to try. But the only drawback is that you have enmity with many sects, and they might try to kill you. Lin Xian nodded. He had offended many powers in the Heavenly Mountain country. Although he usually had nothing to do, if it was a crucial spot like the True Dragon Gathering, it was hard to guarantee that those old things wouldn't kill him. For safety reasons, he couldn't stay in Tianshan Kingdom. Seeing Lin Xian shake his head, DK continued, I'll write a letter. Take it to the Dragon Star Kingdom and find someone called Jiang Sanfeng. If he's still alive, he might be able to help you. Jiang Sanfeng? Dragon Star Empire? Lin Xian felt a headache coming on. This was too general. Can you be more specific? He asked. DK shook his head. To be honest, I don't know the details. But with his reputation, it shouldn't be hard for you to find him. Dragon Star Empire's quota is much higher than Heavenly Mountain Empire's, But the level of warriors there is also much higher than heavenly mountain empires. You have to be mentally prepared for this. Lin Xian pondered for a moment and finally decided to visit the Dragonstar Kingdom. This is the letter and this is the token. DK handed them to Lin Xian. 1 year. Lin Xian clenched his fists. As long as he could obtain the true dragon chi, he would be able to find the great dragon sword. I plan to leave now. Lin Xian stated. Sure, but just in case I can escort you in the Heavenly Mountain Empire. Now that the Pill Emperor Hall is so busy, they definitely can't do without you. I think it's better for me to leave by myself. Lin Xian smiled. How about this? I will send an expert to protect you in the dark, but he can only escort you to the borders of the Heavenly Mountain Empire. Okay. Lin Xian nodded. He wasn't a hypocritical person, and he had a premonition that Elder Blackheart wouldn't let this matter rest so easily. That afternoon, Lin Xian departed from the Pill Emperor Hall. He didn't alert many people, and in the entire Pill Emperor Hall, only DK knew of his departure. But after he left, a black shadow transformed into a black mist and sped towards the Medicine Emperor Hall. Elder Blackheart, that brat has left. A cultivator clad in black spoke. With whom? Elder Blackheart asked. Alone. Seems like he wants to leave the Heavenly Mountain Empire. Elder Blackheart coldly laughed. I got it, you can leave now. After that person left, Elder Blackheart transformed into a wisp of black smoke and quickly left the Wind Moon City. In the wilderness, a huge golden frog was jumping. On top of it sat a handsome young man in blue and a small white monkey. This young man was Lin Xian. He had already left the Wind Moon City and was heading towards the Dragonstar Empire. Along the way he didn't stay idle but continued to cultivate. During the Pill King competition, he didn't fall behind in his cultivation. Now that the majority of the vortex in his body had formed, he would soon break through to the Harmonious Spirit Realm. Only those who reached the Harmonious Spirit Realm would have the qualifications to participate in the sacred True Dragon Gathering. At night, the silver moon hung high in the sky, sprinkling down its clear light. With his outstanding eye technique, Lin Xian was always able to avoid danger in advance. During this period he avoided a few 6th-rank demonic beasts. Whoosh, whoosh. Suddenly, a few strange birds flew down from the sky. They were more than 2 meters long, and their feathers were like metal, emitting a cold aura. Their sharp claws were like iron pincers, causing the air to explode. This kind of power was hard to resist for warriors below the Harmonious Spirit Realm. However, Lin Xian still didn't open his eyes. Croak, croak. The golden frog croaked twice and suddenly opened its mouth. Its scarlet tongue was like a long whip, leaving behind afterimages in the air. Buzz. In a flash, it tied up a strange bird and quickly pulled it back. Gulp. His tongue was extremely corrosive and melted the metal like feathers. The strange bird flapped its wings and tried to resist, but it didn't have any effect. In the end it was eaten by the golden frog. This scene scared away the remaining strange birds in the sky. Oh. The small white monkey patted Little Gold and nodded slightly. Croak. Little Gold croaked twice proudly and sped up again. This kind of thing happened frequently on the road. Lin Xian didn't have to do anything. The night passed peacefully. When the sun rose, Lin Xian's body was covered with a layer of light, quickly absorbing the thin purple qi in the air. When the sun had completely risen, he opened his eyes. There's a city in front? Just in time to replenish my supplies. Lin Xian patted Little Gold and the latter ran toward the city. Previously in the Wind Moon City, he left in a hurry and didn't prepare much. The city in front of him solved his problem. When he was close to the city, he put away Little Gold and walked in with the small white monkey. This time he mainly bought some herbs, food, water, clothes and other things. Because he wanted to cross the border, he bought a lot of things this time. After Lin Xian left, 2 black-robed men appeared in a corner and whispered to each other. Small white monkey, blue-robed young man, confirmed the target, quickly report. I'll keep an eye on him. The 2 men split up. These 2 men were very secretive, and used a special method to avoid soul detection. Lin Xian didn't deliberately search, so he didn't notice this situation. Chapter 357. Lin Xian quickly finished his shopping and walked towards the city gate. Oh no, that kid is leaving. The black-robed man in the dark was anxious. He carefully concealed his aura and followed Lin Xian. This is the person the elder ordered us to follow. We can't lose him. The black-robed man was very dedicated. He knew that Lin Xian was a big fish and was very important to them. However, he did not dare to act rashly. If he alerted the enemy and scared Lin Xian away, he would die even if he had 10 lives. The only thing he could do was to keep track of Lin Xian's position at all times. Soon Lin Xian left the city. He patted his storage bag and the sound of a small golden mountain could be heard. Gua Gua little gold intimately rubbed against Lin Xian with a look of anticipation. Okay, here you go. Lin Xian smiled and took out some demon crystals and threw them into little gold's mouth. These demon crystals were all killed by him on the way and were now used to feed little gold. Wuji the little white monkey had a look of disdain and disappeared with a whoosh. When it reappeared, it was holding an exquisite wine pot in its hands. Its furry paws held the wine pot and the little monkey took a sip like a human. Wuji. The little white monkey had an intoxicated look on its face. Lin Xian was stunned. When did this monkey learn to drink? No wonder my spiritual wine has decreased so quickly. It was all drunk by this monkey? Lin Xian grabbed its ear and said hatefully, "Don't drink it secretly." The little white monkey trembled and burped. It nodded with misty eyes. Fuck. Lin Xian threw it onto little gold's back and quickly moved forward. Bang. With a leap, little gold's body disappeared. Behind, the black-robed man was stunned and quickly chased after it. However, he had already used his fastest speed and still could not catch up. He could only watch as the golden figure went further and further away. Damn it, what kind of frog is this? It's running so fast. The black-robed man cursed angrily. If he lost it, he would be dead. No, I have to make a move. A ruthless look appeared in the black-robed man's eyes. His body turned into black smoke as he quickly charged forward. Someone's here. As soon as the black-robed martial artist attacked, Lin Xian sensed it. He smirked and patted Xiao Jin. He suddenly sped up. His body turned into a golden light, and he quickly headed into the depths of the forest. Little bastard, you actually dared to increase your speed. The black-robed man gnashed his teeth and crazily circulated his spirit energy. Black light flashed as he gave chase with all his might. That's not right. Did he find out? The black-robed man looked surprised. Although he had increased his speed earlier in order to maintain his concealment, he still used a certain method. Since I've been discovered, there's nothing to worry about. The black-robed man sneered and began to mobilize the surrounding spirit chi. Trap. Black clouds floated in front of him, forming a pitch-black cage that pressed down on Lin Xian. The black-robed man was an early harmonious spirit realm cultivator. Now that he had activated his spirit energy, the power of his attacks had increased by several folds. Boom, boom, boom. The black spirit chi light pillar was like a divine spear, piercing through the ground. 4 black pillars blocked Lin Xian's path. That terrifying aura caused the surrounding trees and rocks to explode. Whoosh. The black-robed man appeared in front of Lin Xian. Run. Why don't you run? Damn it. I've decided. After you die, this frog will be mine. Greed flashed through the black-robed man's eyes. Is that so? Since you want it, then come and get it. Lin Xian sat on Xiao Jin's back and said with a smile. Suddenly, Lin Xian's figure gradually faded and disappeared like smoke. Not good. The black-robed man was shocked. He quickly turned his head. However, he was only halfway through this action when his head flew into the air. Plop. Blood splattered everywhere as the headless corpse fell down. Lin Xian put away the remaining half of the Autumn Scar sword and continued on his way. Just now, he had used the Black Cloak's doppelganger martial technique to create a doppelganger on Xiao Jin's back. However, his real body had sneaked behind the black-robed man. With his powerful attack power, Lin Xian had easily killed this man. With the Black Cloak, Lin Xian's attacks had become even more unpredictable. He could often kill his enemies without them noticing. Taking off the black-robed man's storage ring, he reached into it with his soul power. What a poor bastard. Lin Xian looked at him with disdain before putting it away unwillingly. I'm afraid there's more than one person. I better leave first. He was not afraid of others, but the Black Heart Elder was a powerful warrior of the spirit transformation realm. Killing him would be child's play for him. Therefore it was better for him to run for his life. Not long after Lin Xian left, 2 figures quickly landed. One of them was the Black Heart Elder, and the other was the black-robed warrior who had gone to report. Right now he was looking at the corpse on the ground, his body slightly trembling. This was his companion who was at the same level as him. Judging from the surrounding situation, his companion had been killed by a single sword strike. Cold sweat dripped down his face as he thought of a young man with such terrifying combat strength. The blood is still warm. He must have just left. quickly chase after him. The Blackheart Elder's body emitted a dazzling light as he flew out like a meteor. The black-robed man did not dare to say anything and could only follow behind with all his might. Deep in the mountains, Lin Xian was surrounded by countless poisonous snakes. Dozens of huge snake-like demonic beasts flicked their red tongues as they stared coldly at Lin Xian. Damn it! Could it be the demon race? Lin Xian's expression changed slightly as he recalled He Nian and the others. If it was the demon race, then it would be troublesome. Lin Xian had never fought against the demon race before, but he felt that it was scary just thinking about it. Fortunately, these poisonous snakes in front of him were all demonic beasts, so he could still deal with them. Most of these demonic beasts were at the 5th grade, and one of them was at the 6th grade, which was equivalent to a mid-harmonious spirit realm human. He could still deal with them, but if they were a little stronger, he would have to risk his life. The surrounding 5th grade demonic beasts were all left to Xiao Jin and the snow-white little monkey. Lin Xian focused on facing the 6th grade demonic beast. Gua Gua Wuji Wuji. Xiao Jin opened its big mouth and its tongue turned into a long whip as it fought against the two demonic beasts. The snow-white little monkey held the cold star dagger in one hand and a white spider web in the other, shuttling back and forth in the air. Hiss hiss. The piebald python in front of Lin Xian shot out a terrifying light from its eyes like lightning. Wind Slayer. The broken autumn scar was unsheathed, bringing along a fine sword chi. The surrounding air seemed to be cut apart, creating a vacuum. This sword slashed towards the piebald python's head. Hiss hiss. The piebald python's eyes turned red in an instant. Its house-sized head struck out horizontally, and its tail quickly fell down. The green sword chi was broken by the piebald python's tail, bringing along countless gusts of wind. A black shadow flashed and its thick tail rushed towards Lin Xian. Using the dragon rebel step, Lin Xian was like a willow catkin, lightly fluttering in the wind. He elegantly dodged the terrifying attack. He pointed his sword downwards, drawing an arc in the air. Moonbreak. On the sword edge, the green sword chi joined together, forming a crescent-shaped sword chi that rushed towards the ground. As if the green moon had reappeared, the air rumbled. Chapter 358. The moon-shattering sword chi was like a blue moon as it sliced open the python's abdomen. The python suffered a heavy blow and let out a miserable roar. It opened its bloody mouth and frantically devoured the surrounding spirit chi. An energy ball the size of a fist was formed and rapidly grew in size. At this moment, the sound of something breaking through the air came from behind. One of the auras was abnormally strong. Just a trace of pressure made the python tremble. The python let out an uneasy roar. It decisively gave up on attacking Lin Xian and fled into the depths of the forest. The surrounding demonic beasts also dispersed, leaving behind a ground full of corpses. Just as these demonic beasts fled, the figures behind arrived. Hand over the white dragon ascension pill and I'll leave your corpse intact. A sinister voice sounded, accompanied by a huge black cane that smashed down like a mountain. Lin Xian's pupils shrank. He quickly put away his two pets and dashed out in a hurry. "Wanna leave? Do you think you can escape?" Elder Blackheart sneered. Under his control, the entire area was shrouded in black fog. The black fog rolled and formed a terrifying attack that pressed down on Lin Xian. That energy was like a solid cage that made it difficult for one to break free. Lin Xian did not dare to be careless and decisively used the Wind Emperor's sword. The green light flashed like a gale tearing through the sky. A small crack was cut open in the black fog. "You're courting death." Elder Blackheart was furious. Lin Xian was able to cut open his black fog attack, which was beyond his expectations. The black-robed man at the back was also scared out of his wits. Even he could not break open the black fog just now, but Lin Xian cut it open with a single sword. This kid is really strange. Elder Blackheart flipped his palm and instantly patched up the gap. As a spirit transformation realm martial artist, it was easy for him to deal with Lin Xian. "I only used 30% of my strength just now. In my black fog you'll never be able to leave." Elder Blackheart sneered. "Hand over the white dragon ascension pill and I'll consider letting you go." Lin Xian took a deep breath. He did not believe Elder Blackheart's nonsense. Moreover, he would rather die than hand over the white dragon ascension pill. He swung his green sword again and hacked at the black fog on his left. This time, it was as if the sharp sword light had sunk into the sea, not producing the slightest effect. On the contrary, Elder Blackheart's every move made him feel immense pressure. Is this the power of the spirit transformation realm? Lin Xian felt powerless. He could still fight against a harmonious spirit realm warrior, but he was as weak as a child when facing a spirit transformation realm warrior. Didn't you say that there were experts secretly protecting you? Lin Xian asked anxiously. You wouldn't have forgotten about me, right? He didn't dare to put his life in the hands of an unknown person, so he decided to make a move. Right now, the only thing that could break through the black fog was probably the Gale Lightning Sword. Stubborn. Elder Blackheart's face darkened when he saw that Lin Xian had no intention of responding to him. If you don't want to talk, then I'll do it myself. The black fog rolled and countless black chains flew out from it, flying toward Lin Xian. Just as Lin Xian was about to be pierced through, the black fog above him was suddenly torn apart, and a fiery red light flew in like the sun. A huge fireball fell from the sky, burning all the black fog in an instant. Who is it? Come out. Elder Blackheart stomped his feet in anger. At this critical moment, someone dared to interrupt his good deed. Little kid, hurry up and leave. A loud voice echoed in the sky. Lin Xian raised his head and saw a blurry fiery red figure in the clouds, emitting a terrifying aura. He knew that the mysterious expert that DK had mentioned had arrived. Without hesitation, Lin Xian summoned Xiao Jin and quickly left the place. How dare you? Elder Blackheart's sleeves fluttered, and the black fog around him turned into countless ferocious ghosts, pouncing toward Lin Xian. In front of him, 100-meter-tall black giant appeared, its huge palm covering everything below. Umph. In the sky, the fiery red voice snorted coldly, and countless crimson long swords appeared, carrying scorching flames, cutting the thousands of ferocious ghosts in half. Lin Xian only felt the spiritual energy behind him go berserk, and the energy rolled like a tsunami. He was shocked. He could not resist this power at all, and could only control Xiao Jin with all his strength, increasing his speed to the maximum. In the following days, Elder Blackheart did not appear again. However, he was attacked by some demon beast. Fortunately, the Crimson Black Demon had not appeared yet. During this period, Lin Xian was not only improving his cultivation, but also comprehending the sword intent. He had completely grasped the essence of the Wind Emperor's sword, but he was not satisfied. He wanted to comprehend the concept of wind. This idea was approved by Wine Lord. Moreover, he had the Great Dragon Sword Seal, which was an offensive saint technique, and it was also helpful for comprehending the concept. In addition to the concept of wind, Lin Xian also wanted to comprehend the concept of thunder. He had been in contact with these two powers since the beginning, so he was very familiar with them. However, concepts were similar to sword intent. They were somewhat ethereal and illusory, and he had to rely on himself. Along the way, Lin Xian spent his time comprehending. Sometimes he would also use some demon beasts to practice his sword. He specifically picked demon beasts with wind and thunder attributes to fight, such as the thunder tiger in front of him. It was 7 to 8 meters long, and its body was covered with blue thunder patterns. On its back there was a pair of 3-meter-long thunder wings. As it trembled, countless small electric arcs streaked across the air. Lin Xian held the broken sword in his hand, and the blade was covered with silver thunder patterns. That power made the thunder tiger feel pressured. Roar! As the king of all beasts, the thunder tiger would not allow such a threat to exist. With a tiger pounce, the thunder tiger pounced towards Lin Xian with a sky full of thunder and lightning. In the air, it waved its huge claws, forming several blue electric arcs that contained the power of thunder and lightning. Lin Xian did not counterattack. Instead, he used the dragon counterstep and shuttled through the thunder and lightning. He wanted to feel the different thunder and lightning attacks to comprehend the concept of thunder. The thunder tiger was enraged. As an intelligent demon beast, it felt that Lin Xian was toying with it. With a low roar, the blue thunder patterns on its body released a dazzling light. The thunder and lightning gathered in the air, forming a terrifying thunder and lightning storm. The area within 100 meters was covered by a terrifying sea of thunder and lightning. The surrounding trees and earth were all destroyed by the thunder and lightning. Lin Xian withdrew from his comprehension. Even with the dragon counterstep, he could not dodge all of the thunder and lightning at such a density. He waved the broken sword in his hand and silver lightning flew out. It was especially eye-catching in the blue sea of thunder. Crack! The two types of thunder and lightning clashed, forming a terrifying energy storm. The blue sea of thunder was cut open and a vacuum appeared. The thunder tiger panicked. As an intelligent demon beast, it could feel the sharpness of that sword. It did not dare to stay any longer. It turned into blue lightning and fled. Thunder and lightning, one of the most violent powers. Lin Xian had a new comprehension. He sat on the ground and began to comprehend. 2 days later, Lin Xian got up and continued on his way. Chapter 359. Unlike the last time he left Tianshan country, there was no eerie Xianyin River here. On the contrary, there was a city in front of him, and behind the city were countless mountains. As long as I pass through the mountains, I will reach Dragon Star country. Lin Xian kept the map and walked towards the city. Recruiting. Recruiting. The moment he entered the city, there were shouts everywhere. Lin Xian was curious. He realized that there were merchant groups recruiting people. Is there a lack of martial artists here? Lin Xian was puzzled. Warrior, are you interested in being a guard? A 16 or 17-year-old youth pulled a burly man in front of him and asked with a smile. Our Situ guild needs experts like you the most. Brother, come to me. A young man with small eyes quickly said. Dragon Gate Guild, top 3 in the industry. We are strong and the price is high. Soon, the burly man was pulled away by the Dragon Gate Guild. Sigh, the Situ family is in trouble this time. They didn't even recruit a single martial artist. Yeah, without a powerful martial artist, there is no way to pass through the forest, let alone reach Dragon Star country. Alright, don't act alone for now. I heard that the Dafeng mountain range is rampant with demonic beasts. It's better not to go in. I was wondering why these guilds were recruiting like crazy recently. It seems like there is a beast invasion. Lin Xian listened at the side and understood a little. Demonic beasts? Beast invasion? He frowned slightly. This was not good news for him. Why don't we join a guild? We can look out for each other. Lin Xian looked ahead. He walked over slowly and looked around curiously. However, when those people realized that they could not see through Lin Xian's cultivation, they lost interest. It couldn't be helped. Lin Xian looked young and thin. Moreover, his cultivation was unknown. He didn't look like an expert at all. No one stepped forward. Instead, it was the other martial artists who were fought over. Lin Xian smiled bitterly. He was wondering if he should show off some of his strength. At this moment, the weak young man walked over. Brother, are you interested in being a guard? Sure, what do guards do? Lin Xian asked with a smile. Ah. Joy appeared on the young man's face. He quickly said, This time we're going to the Dragon Star Kingdom. We need bodyguards on the way to protect our safety. Brother, don't worry. We will definitely pay you well. As long as our goods are sold, we will definitely give you money. Lin Xian understood. It seemed like this Situ guild had no manpower and no money, so they were living a miserable life. Aha, that brat Situ Jing is really crazy. He actually started to randomly recruit people. That's right. Look at that person's body. He's so weak. I'm afraid a gust of wind could blow him away. I say, Situ Jing, why don't you sell your things to us? You can't go anyway. Yeah, since we're in the same trade, why don't you give us a 10% discount? The people from the other guilds began to mock and ridicule him, while the young man called Situ Jing's face turned red. Your name is Situ Jing? Lin Xian asked. No matter how he heard it, it sounded like a girl's name. Yes. Situ Jing nodded like a chick pecking rice. Alright, I promise you. Lin Xian smiled and patted the young man's shoulder. Oh, really? Situ Jing suddenly raised his head. His eyes were filled with excitement. Brother, follow me. I'll bring you to see our guild. After saying that, he pulled Lin Xian and left. Damn, that brat's brain is damaged. He actually dared to agree? He's just trying to be brave. When he knows about the Situ family's predicament, he will definitely run away. Who cares? Such a person, even if he enters the Dafeng mountain range, will only become food for the monsters. The group of people sneered and shook their heads with disdain. Lin Xian followed Situ Jing to a shop. Situ Jing excitedly ran in while Lin Xian looked around. The so-called guild was actually an organization that transported goods between two countries. Because it was a border city, the entire street was filled with guild organizations. However, the Situ family shop was obviously much more dilapidated. Brother Lin Xian, come in. Situ Jing anxiously pulled Lin Xian in. It was dim inside and some of the furniture was old. At the table in front, there was a middle-aged man with a pale face who was constantly coughing. Father, this is Lin Xian, brother Lin. The middle-aged man raised his head and carefully looked at Lin Xian. Then he revealed a disappointed expression. Little brother Jing is insensible. Sorry for the trouble. The middle-aged man panted. Little brother, please go back. What? I can't be a guard? Lin Xian asked. To be honest, the Dafeng mountain range is very dangerous during this period. If it wasn't for the agreed date with the Longxing Kingdom, we wouldn't have risked our lives to go in. You really don't have to go in and throw your life away. Since it's dangerous, why not change the date? Lin Xian was puzzled. In our line of work, reputation is the most important thing. Once the date is set, it's impossible to change it. Besides, this is a high-risk business. It doesn't matter if we go sooner or later. The middle-aged man said with difficulty and coughed violently. Boss, I was planning to go to the Longxing Kingdom. Why don't we go together? Lin Xian decided to stay. As for my strength, he smiled faintly. It's not a problem to deal with an ordinary harmonious spirit realm warrior. After saying that, he released a trace of sword intent. The whole room was filled with a sharp aura. Feeling this aura, the middle-aged man and Situ Jing trembled slightly. Great. There's hope for our Situ family. The middle-aged man was so excited that tears rolled down his cheeks. Situ Jing was also so excited that her face turned red. How about this? I'll accompany you and see if you can recruit other warriors. Lin Xian said. Then he and Situ Jing went out to the street again to recruit warriors. That brat is back? Like I said, he won't stay in the Situ family. Wait, why is Situ Jing following him? The group was stunned for a moment before they sneered. What an idiot. Lin Xian didn't care about these people. Instead, he carefully observed the passers-by. To be safe, he needed a helper. Brat, are you recruiting warriors here? A burly man came forward. Sorry, we don't recruit trash. Lin Xian shook his head. The man was only at the 7th sky of Spirit Sea realm. He was not strong enough. Motherfucker, you're courting death. How dare you call me trash? The burly man was furious. He raised his fist and was about to punch. Situ Jing was so scared that she hid behind Lin Xian. The surrounding warriors were watching the show. He won't be killed with one punch, right? Maybe. Who asked him to be so weak? Just as the fist was about to hit Lin Xian, a big hand suddenly reached out from behind the burly man and threw him away. Bang. The burly man was thrown a dozen meters away and fell to the ground. Are you guys okay? A steady and strong voice sounded. Lin Xian raised his head and saw a 2-meter-tall young man standing in front of him with a silly smile on his face. I'm fine. Situ Jing said with lingering fear. Lin Xian smiled. Thank you for your help. He looked at the burly young man in front of him. With his outstanding soul power, he could feel that the young man had great power. Even he felt a trace of danger. Someone who could make him feel this way was definitely not ordinary. Chapter 360. Seeing Lin Xian's question, the surrounding martial artists could no longer sit still. This muscular young man was obviously an expert. Coupled with his silly smile, they could definitely hire him at the lowest price. How could they give up such a good opportunity? Brother, don't go to them. They are poor and can't afford it. The small-eyed man laughed. Come to our Dragon Gate Guild. We are the 3rd-ranked guild. Our price will definitely be a few times higher than others. There's also us, Tri-Talent Guild. There are many experts in our guild. It's definitely safe. The group of people were extremely enthusiastic. Lin Xian was sick and tired of listening to them. He wanted nothing more than to slap them away. Situ Jing looked on nervously. She couldn't compete with the others. However, the honest-looking young man ignored them. He smiled and asked Lin Xian, I can be a guard, but can I eat my fill? Lin Xian looked at Situ Jing with a questioning gaze. Yes, definitely. Don't worry, you can eat your fill, Situ Jing quickly said. All right, I'll sign up, the muscular young man said in a silly voice. What? The surrounding people were stunned. Our food is even better. We have all kinds of delicacies. You should consider it. Amidst the cheers of the crowd, the muscular young man followed Lin Xian and Situ Jing away. Fuck, another idiot. Sigh, what a pity. Such a good bodyguard. The group of people sighed. The Situ clan is really lucky. This is Lin Xian, Big Brother Lin. Big Brother, how should I address you? Situ Jing asked. Dongfang Xiong, the young man smiled. Looking at him, if he wore a beast skin coat, he would be no different from a bear. The three of them walked to the shop and started to pack up, preparing to enter the mountain. 5 days later, the group set off. Their luggage was simple. Most of their things were placed in their storage rings. However, because the middle-aged man, Situ Tao, was not feeling well, they brought along a rank 4 sprinting beast. This beast's attack power was not strong, but it had a special ability. Its body was huge and the bones on its back were like a house for people to rest in. Just like that, the group entered the mountain. At the same time, the other guilds also began to take action. The forest was vast and all kinds of demonic beasts ran amok. If it was a normal day, it would be impossible to see so many demonic beasts. It seemed that there was indeed something unusual in the mountains. Lin Xian's eyes flashed. Sidu Tao was originally worried, but when he saw Dongfang Xiong kill a Type 5 mountain hound with a single punch, he immediately calmed down. Not only that, but he also admired Lin Xian even more. Because of Lin Xian's guidance, they were always able to avoid the powerful demonic beasts, making the journey much easier. The other guilds were not so lucky. As soon as they entered the forest, they encountered a pack of demon wolves. Immediately many people were injured. The Dafeng mountain range was very wide. With their speed, it would probably take them a month to walk out of it. During this period of time, Lin Xian had never forgotten to comprehend wind concept and lightning concept. Coupled with Wine Lord's guidance, his progress was incredibly fast. It's getting late. Let's stop and rest, Sidu Tao said. Lin Xian nodded and began to look for a safe place. In this mountain range, finding a safe place was very important. Otherwise, if they encountered a pack of demonic beasts, they would be unlucky. It's them? Lin Xian was surprised when he saw the people from the Dragon Gate Guild. I found a good place. Follow me. He smiled. Dongfang Xiong carried a huge axe on his back and 2 demonic beasts on his shoulders as he followed Lin Xian with a silly smile. Situ Jing supported her father and walked in the middle. Soon they arrived at a flat area with a few caves around it. There's actually people here? Sidu Tao's expression changed when he saw the people from the Dragon Gate Guild. Brother Lin, why don't we go somewhere else? No need. I've already checked. This is the safest place within a few dozen miles. Lin Xian slowly said. Yes, Brother Lin is right. I think this place is very good. Dongfang Xiong was very satisfied. He threw the prey on his shoulders to the ground and prepared to clean it. This is the territory of the Dragon Gate Guild. You think you can behave so atrociously? A bald man coldly said, Sidu Tao, I think you don't want to live anymore. Sidu Jing was so frightened that she trembled. Sidu Tao smiled and said, Everyone, I'm really sorry. There's no other place around here. We'll just stay for one night. We won't disturb you. No, we have to talk about guild secrets tonight. The others can't be here. Yes, quickly scram. Also, these 2 demonic beasts are not bad. Leave them for us for dinner. The people from the Dragon Gate Guild were very domineering. Not only did they want to chase away Lin Xian and the others, they also wanted to take the food. Sidu Jing and her father looked at Lin Xian, but the 2 of them didn't notice anything. Lin Xian sighed. He patted Dongfang Xiong's shoulder and said, Brother Xiong, someone wants to steal your food. What? Dongfang Xiong suddenly stood up and stomped his feet on the ground. Who dares to steal my things? Ka. The ground trembled. Countless cracks spread out under Dongfang Xiong's feet and covered the ground in an instant. It was as if an earthquake had just occurred. The people from the Dragon Gate Guild were shocked as they stared blankly at the scene. Some of the Harmonious Spirit Realm warriors also frowned. With their experience, they could see that this attack was purely physical strength. This guy is so scary. They looked at each other and shook their heads slightly. They didn't need to provoke such a strong enemy when they were outside. All right, you can stay here, but don't disturb us, an old man said in a deep voice. Situ Jing and her father felt relieved and settled down to rest. Dongfang Xiong continued to clean up the demonic beasts. Lin Xian looked at the cracks on the ground and praised in his heart. Dongfang Xiong's body was definitely not weaker than his silver lightning physique. One had to know that his silver lightning mark was cultivated through countless lightning strikes. Interesting guy. Lin Xian's lips curved up slightly. He also sat down and cultivated. Normally he would cultivate the longevity art at this time. As long as he broke through the 2nd level of the longevity art, he would be able to enter the Harmonious Spirit Realm. At that time, the true power of the longevity art would be revealed. After a while, the smell of barbecued meat drifted over. I'm done. Dongfang Xiong scratched his head and smiled. Smells so good. Situ Jing exclaimed and ran to the barbecued meat. Behind her, Situ Tao also slowly walked over. Lin Xian took out 3 jars of spirit wine and placed them on the ground. The group began to eat the meat and drink the wine. Beside them, the people from the Dragon Gate Guild saw Lin Xian and the others' food and the dried meat in their hands. They immediately felt unhappy. Many of them were even drooling. You, it's you. Quickly give us 10 jars of good wine. The bald man looked at the jars with shining eyes. Sorry, there's no share for you here. Lin Xin said in a deep voice. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.